What a difference 1.5 weeks will make, I think, as welcome everybody back to our first live watch along in a little bit. Hope everybody's been well. Everybody had a good break, even though it wasn't technically, our break, but it is what it is. Hope everybody had a good, relaxing time away from hockey as we're now getting into the dog days of the NHL season. Everybody pushing for a playoff spot. Now that big trade has happened, which we'll obviously get into, it seems like the Cannons have been fired for more trades to happen along the way. So we'll get into all that. We'll get into some of the lineups for tonight, but it's gonna be a tough one for the Flames tonight as Calgary begins a bit of a road trip, and they're gonna be for a tough test tonight. It's gonna be against the Boston Bruins in Boston tonight. But with that, there's also a lot of exciting things happening, especially if you're a Flames fan. Of course, if you're Boston, you're still trying to lock down that number one spot, obviously, out in the East, out in the Atlantic Division. Going to get a chance to do that within the next 2 months and also kind of see, what else they can add maybe closer to the deadline as well. But specifically for the Flames, we saw what happened last week, and we had a chance to jump on with some of our guys last week about the trade that broke. And it was a doozy, and it kind of caught a lot of us all by surprise about the timing of it all and just overall, the package it kind of came with. So to just give everybody a little bit of a refresher on what happened. So basically Craig Conroy just kind of knew that it was his time. There wasn't an extension that was going to take place, and it was time for him to go. And it appeared that Lindholm decided, or excuse me, not Lindholm, but the Canucks were all in on it. It was the best package they could get, and this is what happens here. So we'll run through this. I'd love everybody's thoughts on the trade that happened, what we're excited to see tonight, because we're going to see both players with their new teams in action tonight, Vancouver and Carolina, and obviously Calgary in Boston as well. We'll get into that too, but first just wanted to see what everybody's up to tonight. As RJ's checking in again, it is going to be Jacob Markstrom versus Jeremy Swayman tonight. I'll get into all the lineups before the game starts tonight as well. Liam checking in again. What's going on, Liam? Great to have you back. Angus as well too, checking back with us. I might change the theme, actually. I'm not sure if I'm the biggest fan of that. Let me just see, because I actually want to see it. There we go. Perfect. And Liam has 4-2 Bruins tonight. It does feel like if you're going to win a game, especially for Calgary tonight, going on the road in Boston being like 31-9-9, I think, or something crazy like that, it's going to be tough to win in that environment. So I would imagine that could very well be the case tonight as well, too. Jock checking in as well, too. You would think this is a game that Boston should win tonight, and I would fully agree with that as well. But we're doing good. We had a nice little break for the last little bit, was able to finally get outside and try and enjoy the weather as well, and it's been a good little break. But we're back in it, man. It's gonna be a good stretch between now until the end of I guess beginning of June, Stanley Cup final and all that. So we're in for a good one tonight. Goza checking in. Goza's got 3-2 for the Bruins tonight as well. I feel like it's either going to be one of those games where the Bruins are going to win like 6-2, or it's going to be a blowout, or this game's going to overtime, right? And it could either go either way, right? So we'll see what happens. If anybody wants to check in, ask questions, it's just going to be myself for a little bit tonight. We do have some guests joining us in the second period, so hope you guys can hang out with that. But you got me for a little bit, so you guys are more than welcome to come chat, hit me up with some questions, anything we want to debate about or talk about. I'm more than happy to do so on that end. But I thought we'd first kind of start before we get into the game tonight. They're just singing the national anthem, and then we'll kind of jump into the game. Before we do, let's bring up the trade again that we saw from last week. So just before the All-Star game hit, I think it was a Wednesday night or something like that, big news broke that Elias Lindholm had been traded to the Vancouver Canucks in exchange for Andrei Kuzmenko, Hunter Brushewitz, I think is how you pronounce it, Yami Yermo, a 2024 first-round pick for this year, and a conditional 2024 fourth-round pick in that regard. I can't look it up right now, but I believe the fourth-round pick, that's a condition. I think it turns into a third if the Canucks make the Western Final this year. Somebody can remind me on what the ramifications are for those conditions. I might forget, but this was the overall trade that happened last week, and I think the initial thought was that Canucks fans didn't like it. It was overpriced, but really, if you're trying to push all your chips and go in, it's a good addition to have a good centerpiece, especially when you're behind Elias Pettersson. So, for Vancouver, I think it's a great addition. It's somebody that they'll be happy to take on, especially at the price that he's at too right now. And even if he is just a rental, and we'll see how far the Canucks can go, it might pay off for them at the end of the day, and we'll just kind of see how it went. But, if you're a Flames fan like myself, I think a lot of us were very overjoyed by how well we were able to retain so many of the assets back from this trade, right? So having Kuzmenko involved, I think either way, it was going to be Kuzmenko or Höglander that were going to be involved in this trade. We were very happy to get Kuzmenko. It just means he gets another chance to, start maybe try scoring some goals, try to help up Huberdeau on the first line. And we'll kind of see how it goes. It's not much of a cap hit, especially going into next year, and we'll see how much of a contribution he can really be for this team going forward. A lot of Canucks fans were not happy about giving away Hunter Bruschwitz as well. He leads all OHL defensemen in points right now. I think he's at something stupid like 61 points or something ridiculous. But yeah, they were not happy with giving away him. Again, don't know much about the prospect, Joni Jurmo. He's got a couple of games in the Swedish or Finnish league right now. I can't remember which one which. But it was also nice too as well to include that first round pick and a conditional pick on top of that, depending how far the Canucks go in the playoffs. So that's the overall trade right there, and kind of want to hear your guys' thoughts too on what you thought of it. And we'll kind of see how they play tonight too. I'm really excited to see how Kuzmenko is going to shape out tonight. And before I get back to some of the comments here, I did want to quickly go over some of the lineups for tonight. So I did mention that it's going to be Huberdeau and Andrei Kuzmenko on line one, with Igor Sharangovich, who's going to be centering that top line with those two boys up front. On line two, you do have Zari with Kadri and Martin Pospisil. You got Mangiapane there with Backlund and Blake Coleman. Big one too for the Flames. Jacob Pelletier makes his return to Calgary after suffering a big injury early on. I think it was in the preseason earlier on in the year. He makes his first start of the year tonight, something that Flames fans are very happy to see. Kevin Rooney is also calling back up as they need some center depth now that Lindholm's gone, with Walker Duehr on the right side. Game is now underway. I just thought I'd mention that. I'll bring up the scoreboard in a second. Mackenzie Weegar there with Anderson, Hanifin with Chris Tanev still, Shillington and Braden Paschal, who the Flames picked up off waivers. And again, Jacob Markstrom will be getting the nod tonight in net for the Flames. And then again, very quickly, just on the other side of it too, you got Brad Marchand with Charlie Coyle and Jake DeBrusk on the top line, James Van Riemsdyk with Pavel Zacha and David Pastrnak on line two. I'm going to pronounce some of these wrong. It's going to be embarrassing. Jacob Lacko with Morgan Geekie and Trent Frederick, Dante Heinonen, Jesper Boquist, and Oscar Steen, I believe. And then to round out the defensemen, you got Grzelcyk and McAvoy, Lindholm and Carlo, Hampus Lindholm, and Brendan Carlo, Derek Forbett, and Kevin Shattenkirk, with Jeremy Swayman getting the nod tonight. So there you have it. Take it as you will, as we are underway here in Boston for period number one. Again, we got some guests coming here in the second period, but you got me to hang out with here in the first. So let me jump back here and see what we got here for some of the questions and some comments going on. The World Cup coming to MetLife Stadium in New Jersey. I did see the scheduling for the World Cup coming up, I think for us Canadians at least. I know Toronto's getting like a couple of games. I know Vancouver's getting a good chunk of them too. And I'm surprised that the final's not in LA. It just seems like that would be the case. But I guess if you're looking for max capacity, MetLife Stadium seems to be the right choice. So take it as you will. Checking to see what else we got here. Goes to saying he's got the Stephane Matteau game-worn alumni Rangers road jersey. That is amazing. Speaking of which, too, because I think they did drop the Stadium Series jerseys, if I'm not mistaken, which I'm like kind of hit and miss about. I saw some of our guys actually get them today. I didn't mind the Devils one. I think all of them weren't bad. I wasn't crazy about the Islanders one, to be honest with you. But other than that, I thought the rest of them were pretty clean, pretty original. I think some people weren't happy with the fact that the Hurricanes one was very similar to the Devils one. So again, take that as you will, but I like it. Okay. It just works. The color scheme works a little bit. So Jared checking in. He's in Vegas for the Super Bowl. Let's go Bruins, and good luck against the Bruins. Yeah, we'll see what happens, but that's awesome. Hope you have a great time at the Super Bowl this weekend. Again, if you guys are hopefully going to be watching the Super Bowl on Sunday, it's going to be the Chiefs and the 49ers. I got no horse in that race, but I'm excited to watch it and just see what happens. I'm also excited to see what happens at halftime because it's Usher. So I wanted a really good performance last year from Rihanna, but I think she was pregnant at the time. So, I mean, couldn't really do a whole lot there, but regardless, it was a great performance, and hopefully we get another good one on Sunday as well. And again, in case you guys are wondering for the Super Bowl, it is at 6:30 kickoff on Sunday, 49ers and Chiefs. Who do you guys got below? It's a toss-up for me. I like Kansas City, though. I mean, all playoffs, everybody was knocking off Mahomes, wasn't think he was going to make it. Now he gets there to the big dance. I just like Mahomes in the big moments, and I think it's going to be a really big moment for if you're just looking at the quarterback battle like Brock Purdy. We'll see what happens, though. I think 49ers have a more complete team, but I like Mahomes to finish it off at the end of the day, and I like Kansas City to win on Sunday, but I'm never right about these things, so we'll see what happens. Goza was saying Neil I did see that he did get his Devils jersey today. I believe he's at the game tonight. I think the Devils are playing the Avalanche tonight, if I'm not mistaken. So nice. I know. I saw the jersey today, and I thought it looked absolutely stunning. So I got to give him a lot of credit for that. It looked pretty good on him. So he's actually at the game tonight in New Jersey as they're taking on. It's a tough game as they're taking on Colorado. Nothing going on so far. They're just trying to even each other out, kind of see what's happening here. Again, I'm really curious to see what happens with Kuzmenko tonight. I just want to see how this team looks. I'm not really concerned whether this is a win or a loss, and this first line's getting a lot of really good chances off the post already. Huberdeau off the post early on, as this first line seems to be working pretty well early on in this game. I say all this, I don't want this team to win at the end of the day, but I don't know. I just want to see how this first line gels a little bit. I'd like to see some of these guys who are going to play center, such as Igor Sharangovich, how they do really in a new role and, a little bit more depth coming in, and it gives them more of a chance to prove themselves. I think it's a great opportunity for this team, and I think Flames fans should be excited, and we just want to see what happens tonight. So we'll see how it goes, as Jared, as you can see, is clearly rooting for the Niners on Sunday. Matt checking in. Good to see you, Matt. Nice to have you along. Really appreciate it. Want to know where you guys are from, any questions, any debates you guys have about, anything going forward. Now that we had the one big trade that happened with Lindholm just a couple of days ago, now we're just waiting for the dominoes to fall, right? And it kind of already has a little bit, because the recent one too, actually the recent trade that we did just see, was Sean Monahan, who got dealt from Montreal to Winnipeg. And as a Flames fan, it kind of sucks that they gave up a first-round pick, because we had to give one to get rid of Monahan, but that's here nor there. But Winnipeg acquires Sean Monahan to try and just put a little bit more depth into what could be a good run for the Winnipeg Jets. We'll see how that works out. But right now, the Montreal Canadiens are looking like scapegoats right now with first-round picks. And they were also, from what I was reading earlier today, whether this is true or not, they were also in on potentially Trevor Zegras, who is not happy with contract extensions going on in Anaheim. We'll see how it goes. But anyway, we'll see how it does. And I'm curious to see what other trades we're going to get going forward. The Flames probably won't be done. Obviously, other names swirling around, and we'll see how they go. And I'm imagining some of these top teams as well, too, in the East and the West are going to, start firing away, too, with some potential trades as well. Goes to saying that they're referring to Neil, who does a lot of the live watch parties with me, is at the Devils game tonight. So I'll try and check in on him and see how he's doing in New Jersey in that one. The trade was a little bit. I think it was weird at the time we're speaking about the Lindholm trade, I'm just imagining, or Monahan, not sure. We'll speak on both real quick. It was weird timing when it happened with Lindholm, because we got the trade announcement and we heard that it was Lindholm, and we also heard that Kuzmenko was involved, but we were all kind of just waiting like, okay, like what else is there? We need a little bit more here. And then we found out obviously with the package that was, so that was interesting timing. And then, with Monahan, I also thought it was kind of weird too. I was surprised that Winnipeg gave up a first-round pick for him, but maybe it was expendable, as Boston here's going to get a chance to go on a bit of a break here. It's Charlie Coyle on a breakaway. Great save by Jacob Markstrom. I totally missed it, but there's a power play right now too for the Flames. So I'm not doing a great job of covering the game tonight, and I never do. And it's Andrei Kuzmenko. Kuzmenko scores, and that is his first goal as a Calgary Flame, and it is 1-0 for the Flames. Andrei Kuzmenko finds his first, and he rifles it past Jeremy Swayman. What a start for this first line. just what saw happen beforehand. Charlie Coyle had a really good kind of breakaway opportunity. Flames turned heel right away on a bad change. Huberdeau, great pass to Kuzmenko, and he fires it home. And Andrei Kuzmenko is pumped. He scores his first goal as a Flame right away, makes an immediate impact for this team, and the Flames lead 1-0 in this one. If that doesn't fire you up, I don't know what does, boys. But that's Andrei Kuzmenko getting his first as a Flame. I don't know how many he has this year in total, because I was told that he was scratched a lot in Vancouver. The only thing that makes this night better is if Lindholm doesn't score, but he probably will eventually. So there you have it. It didn't take long. It took what? Oh, here we go. It's his 9th goal of the year. So there you go. Assisted by Huberdeau and Sharangovich on that first line. What a start. Not even 5 minutes in, and Kuzmenko makes his mark for the team already, and he's fired up. And I'm hoping Flames fans are fired up for that one too. That's fantastic to see. What else do we got here? Matt's watching from New Hampshire. I have been once to New Hampshire. I've heard Vermont actually too is very pretty. Been there once too. So driving through New Hampshire and all that. Pretty part of the U.S. Only once though. That's all I'm gonna say. I've only been once, and that was it. Goes is saying I can get the Rangers Stadium Series jersey soon. I have ordered the patch and a hat to go with it, but other Rangers jerseys took priority. Understandable. That makes sense. You have to take priority. I mean, I don't like I'm cheap, and I like to find jerseys that are cheap but valuable, I guess. This one I probably had for a couple of years. It's got no nameplate because we're trading we always trade people at the inconvenient time. So I mean, I don't trust it anymore, and that's why I get no nameplate. But it is what it is, and people will probably still have Johnny Gaudreau jerseys right to this day. So, and I'm sure it's happened in the past too. But that's awesome though. It's good to hear. Jock checking in from Massachusetts. My uncle, who was a professor. He was still as a professor, excuse me. He actually was a professor at Westfield State or just Westfield University in Massachusetts. Anyway, he used to teach there. I won't go into specifics, but I managed to come visit him the odd time in Massachusetts. So that's my only experience there. Birmingham, England. I'm telling you, I want to get to England so bad. If there's one thing I want to do on my bucket list is I want to play golf out in England so goddamn bad. And hopefully we will. Jose Rodriguez checking in from Venezuela. Love to see it. Awesome. And he's obviously loving the game of hockey. And I really appreciate you coming on. That's fantastic. And yeah, getting back to it, I mean, it was quick. Only, 4 minutes and 53 seconds in. I think it was something like that in the first. And he fired that one home as Markstrom just playing behind the net. And he clearly is not tending the goal. We all know what that one. Man, what a start though. It's good to have. I mean, it's obviously good with that confidence. You know it's going to trail off a little bit at some point. You're always going to have ups and downs, in the year regardless with him. But that's a big confidence booster, right? And again, like I'm not crazy about who wins tonight at least for the Flames. I know Boston needs to win this tonight for sure to kind of start off well after the All-Star break. And but yeah, I mean, for the Flames, win or loss tonight, I just want to see how this line does. And clearly it's off to a really good start tonight. And I love to see it. He got lucky. You're lucky if you get above 500. 500 points? 500 points? I don't know what it is. I apologize. Not to brag, but I have a friend that's at the game tonight. Oh, he's at the Bruins game tonight. That's sick. I've seen a lot of pictures too. Like I've had buddies who've gone to a Bruins game. Actually, one guy who went recently too, and like the atmosphere there is second to none, right? And it seems like it's one of those places like you have to go on your bucket list. I've only been to 3 or 4 stadiums in my lifetime, but it feels like that's one that you have to check off your bucket list. So I would imagine that's something that we would want to do going forward, but we'll see how it goes. Other news around the league tonight. We got the Stars taking on the Sabres tonight. A lot of games happening. It's Tuesday night, just after the All-Star break, getting it right underway. Dallas starting off quick too. They're up currently 1-0. Another team that's currently up early on is the Hurricanes in a battle against the Vancouver Canucks. Again, Elias Lindholm is in the lineup for that game as well. You damn right they did, Dylan. You damn right they did. Last time I heard, though, you told me word for word that it was good value for both teams. You said it was good value, and I'm going to hold you to it until maybe a year from now, and then we'll talk. Or until he decides he wants to extend or not. But I'm holding you to that. So you can come on here. Don't you say that they won now, because you said it was good value. So talk to me in the off season. We'll see how it goes. Other games happening too tonight, guys. Montreal currently up 1-0 on the Capitals in the first period. And I think from that 550% win rate. Oh, okay. Got it. Had a blonde moment there earlier about the what I think, who was it that said earlier something about 500? It was Jimmy, who was saying you're lucky if you get above 500. This season's already a wash. I hope this team loses. I think that's what a lot of people are kind of hoping for, and I really hope they start losing going forward. But right now, I mean, it's a great start, especially with the way this first line is looking, and they look fast. They look like it finally looks like Huberdeau can finally start passing to a guy who is a true goal scorer, and you're just trying to find that going forward. So, well, but that's what. Yeah, thank you, Goes. I needed that. I had a bit of a brain fart there. I stand by it. Good trade for both. We'll see. We'll see. Tell me if you're watching the Canucks game tonight. Let me know how Lindholm's doing. Do you think? And maybe this is to Dylan if he's still hanging around for a second. Do you think they're done? I'm curious to see if I don't know if they're done or not, or I don't know what assets they can give away come deadline time. I would imagine Vancouver makes one more move. I don't know what it would be. You guys can comment to kind of see what you guys think if Vancouver's done. I imagine they make one more move. I think if anything, it might maybe two. I could see like a bottom six piece and maybe a bottom six forward piece and a bottom six or whatever top four defenseman maybe, or a guy who's playing like 6th, 7th defenseman too, just to have some backup in case somebody gets injured. It's something I could see, but I don't know. It's tough to judge, right? You have to see what assets they have, and you still got a lot of time. Like, you got a month before the deadline, and we saw with Monahan the other day, and clearly with the Lindholm trade, that's going to start setting off a lot of other trades in motion. So, can see the Canucks adding some defensive insurance. Yeah, I think like for that, I agree. I think it's probably a little bit of insurance just to kind of see, come playoff time, guys get hurt. It just happens, right? You're going to get some guys who are going to get hurt come playoff time. And, you need some help on the back end on both the forwards and the defensemen. As Weegar just dropped, I think it was Jeremy Laco in front of the net, and now there's a big scrum in front. So, loved Weegar's start to the year too. So I hope Weegar continues to play well. He's been doing good. It was a pretty nice goal. It was pretty nice. Not going to lie. Again, it was from Huberdeau. Excuse me, it was from Sharon Govich to Huberdeau. Huberdeau found Kuzmenko just above the hash marks in the slot and fired it. I think it was under the glove of Jeremy Swayman. Glove or blocker, I missed it. And just rifled it home. And Kuzmenko gets on the board early. What do you guys think of Kuzmenko overall? I don't know a lot about him, and maybe can gain a little bit more knowledge, Tony, if anybody else has their kind of thoughts or 2 cents about Kuzmenko. I don't know what to make of him. I mean, he was laughing during some of the interviews when he was first kind of introduced, and I don't know, you just kind of have to see how this one's going to play out, right? I mean, clearly he's having a good start, and he's kind of like maybe he's just found his system. He's found his way into this first line already. Like, I think they made him a priority that he was going to be a goal scorer on this team, a first line guy, and he's going to play the power play. And overall, I love it. I think it's good value for this team, and if he continues at this rate, it's going to be a really good trade off for the Flames as the season goes along. So I have the same jersey. It's a pretty great jersey. I've had it for a couple of years. I went to a thrift store one time a couple of months ago, and I bought the horse, Blasty Flames. Oh, Kuzmenko again, man. He's looking so dangerous again. Sorry. No, to finish the point though, I bought a Blasty jersey from some thrift store for like $5, $10, give or take. And it's getting torn to shreds. Like, the stitching on it is just totaled. It's gone. It doesn't look good. So, I mean, whatever. It's got its good use out of it. This is the only one I got really outside of maybe what else do I have? I think I have like an OHL jersey too. I got like it's a Guelph Storm jersey if you guys are familiar with the OHL. Yeah, that's about all I got. So there you go. We were supposed to have our guys from Flaming Talk come on tonight. He just had to cancel last minute. It was totally understandable. So I thought I'd come and entertain you guys here in the first period. We'll see how the the game goes here tonight as well. We do have some guests coming in the second period. We'll see what happens if they come and join us. But it's all us tonight. We can all, if you guys want to talk trash to me, I'm more than okay with that too. Bully me all you want. Let's just get through tonight together. Let's do it. Danelle checking in. What is up? What's up? Good to see you again, Danelle. Hope you had a good break, all-star break. I know it's not really a break for us, but it's a break. Hope the Flames beat the Bruins. Hate them. Yeah, I mean, they kind of had. Did we play them earlier this year? I think we did. I think the Bruins beat us earlier. So let's make it 1-1 and call it even this year. Why not? In terms of standings, I think I can actually bring it up on Flash Score here. I want to see if I can bring up the standings here. So for those of you who are curious here, they only do it through 1 through 8 here, so I apologize in advance. I can't change it to like the divisional side of it, but as you can see, if you're a Flames fan, you are looking at that wild card spot. So if you're looking at 7 and 8 here with the Kings and the Blues, Kings currently sit at 56 points and the Blues currently they're at 54. It's an important one for Calgary tonight because they do sit at 49 points here. And a win tonight would put them only 3 points back of the Blues and the Predators, who also have 54 points tonight as well. So it is an important game for the Flames. And you can also kind of see them on the bottom of the screen there, but let's go down and check out the East too. It's an important one for Boston, especially for the first couple of weeks in this season, because you're currently 5 points up on the Florida Panthers. And I think for Boston, they really want to try and maintain their lead here in the Eastern Conference and really try to hone down home ice advantage going to the playoffs for the second time in a row going into the playoffs. So you got a couple of teams that are still chasing them a little bit. You do have Florida. You do have the Rangers kind of behind. Carolina's picked up a lot of steam recently. And we'll see how it all shapes out in the end of it. And if you guys want to look at the wild card too as well, it's pretty close. You got the Lightning, the Leafs, and the Red Wings all kind of close hanging around there. The Flyers at 56 points as well too. You got the Islanders and Pittsburgh and the Devils and the Capitals who need to pick up steam. But it's going to be interesting to see kind of what happens in the latter half. I mean, the important games really do start now, right? Like that's the important thing, is that the important games for a lot of teams happen to start now, especially when you do play a lot of your divisional opponents, right? It makes things a little bit more tighter. Things are going to get more chippy, and you got to scrap and claw for every point that you can get. So it'll be interesting to see how February shapes out. I got 997 jerseys. Bro, I could sell all of them, and that would really help my debt. I would do that. You have no idea. I would do that in a heartbeat, but I admire your passion. So I love that. That's fantastic. What's your favorite out of all 197 goes? I'd love to know. What's your favorite? For the 2024 Stadium Series jerseys, they don't have any in Adidas at all. Fanatics except maybe, whatever, close enough, for the Islanders, which is on their team website, and also the Rangers as well. Interesting. So they don't have any in Adidas. Huh. Well, I thought, and correct me if I'm wrong, that Adidas this was it, I think, for their deal, and then Fanatics was going to take over. Or maybe there's some sort of deal where they do it now to showcase what they can do, maybe with some of these events. I don't know. Interesting. I didn't know that, but I won't be buying anything Fanatics anytime soon. So take that as you will too. What do you think of the Hurricanes so far this year? I was surprised how slow they started. I expected them. So my early prediction was I had the Hurricanes, Rangers, and Devils again top 3. I was very surprised how slow the Hurricanes started, but it seems like recently they've really started to turn their wheels a little bit and have really turned their season around. And now all of a sudden, I think they're what do we see? 4 points behind the Rangers for the top spot in the Metro. And it's absolutely in reach. I think the Rangers were I think they were 4-5-1 in their last 10 before the All-Star break. So it gave the Hurricanes a really good chance to try and play catch up, which it seems like they have. And I don't know. I think if the Rangers keep trending that way and the Hurricanes just keep finding their footing, it wouldn't surprise me if the Hurricanes finish first in the Metro. But either way, it'll be Hurricanes, Rangers 1 or 2. But it's important to get that 1 seed, especially when you don't want to play what could be a good Metropolitan 3rd seed. But we'll see again how the season all shapes out in that regard there. They did a dumb decision that they don't have enough Adidas versions of the Stadium Series jerseys. What a joke. And don't have them in bigger sizes. A lot of companies I've noticed, especially for jerseys, sweaters, t-shirts, etc., at least on my side of it, for the Canadian side of it, I've seen small to 2XL. I haven't seen a lot of 3, 4, 5, right? And I've only really seen small to 2X, and I know that is a problem. How they solve it, I'm not sure. I mean, you obviously want to try and sell for every size possible, and I hope that's something that they try to change going forward. So I completely agree, for sure. I got my game-worn Stephane Matteau alumni jersey, which is so the recent one. That's awesome. That's really cool to see, though. I'm glad you're happy with that one. That's fantastic. What is the website that you can watch free hockey games on? So if you guys want to check it out and you want to watch along with me, unfortunately, I can't show it tonight as much as I would love to. You can go watch on NHL 66, I believe. If you just type in on Google NHL 66, you should be able to get some other live games that are happening as well. Me personally, I just found it easier. It's Connor Zary. Connor Zary with the goal. Forehand, backhand, right around Jeremy Swayman. And the Flames continue their dominance here in the first period. Zary finds it home again, and it's 2-0 Calgary. So, again, another quick breakout here. It's a 3-on-2. He finds Zary just sneaking right behind the defenders. Didn't really do a great job of tracking where Zary was. He goes right to the net on the left-hand side and easily gets by Jeremy Swayman. And the Flames take a 2-0 lead early on in this one. What a saucer pass, too, from Kadri, as that line continues to roll for the Flames. Zary loves it, and the Flames continue to dominate here in this first period. What a start for Calgary. I mean, shots are already 10-6. Normally when the Flames go to Boston, it's never a clean game. It's never a good game in any regard. I can't remember the last time the Flames had a really good game in Boston or against Boston for any of that matter. Maybe that's been a couple of years, but this is not a good team that's in Boston. So I'm really happy that this is off to a really good start tonight. And maybe this is just a sign of good things to come going forward. We'll see how it goes. And to update people on other games so far as well, Canadiens currently lead 2-0 on the Capitals. I did see the Capitals are losers of 4 of their last 5. So they got to find a way to turn around if they want to still stay in the conversation of a playoff spot. We'll see how that goes. Florida currently up 1-0 on Philadelphia. Monahan, I think, is starting tonight for the Jets. I'm not sure. If somebody wants to correct me, by all means. Pittsburgh currently up 1-0 on the Jets in that one early on in the first period. So anytime, Danelle, I got you. Anytime. Bruins being burnt by the Flames in the first period. No kidding. I mean, outside of, it was a Charlie Coyle breakaway that he had. It was a great save by Markstrom. He really stepped up. It really has been all Flames, as much as I hate to say it. I know I'm a little biased here, obviously, but it really has been all Flames. Shots are 10-6, but it just seems like the Bruins can't really settle in offensively here. And, they had a lot of possession, don't get me wrong, but they just really can't get anything going against this Flames defense so far. And so far, the Flames defensively are just playing a really good job of keeping the puck away from them, spreading it out, getting out of the zone very quickly. And so far, they're doing a really good job of that. So you got to give them a lot of credit. But at the same time, it's a long game, right? This is the Bruins. This is the best team in the NHL. You do expect that they're going to find some sort of answer back here. As another odd man rush here for the Flames here with this first line out. It's Kuzmenko again within, and Huberdeau goes right into a corner here as the Flames continue to pressure. Hanifin goes across. Rasmus Andersson back in the zone here, goes back to Kuzmenko, dumps it back out to the point. Hanifin's going to get a shot. It's blocked, comes right out and out of the offensive zone. Not bad play-by-play. I'm getting a little better at this. Neil does it way better than I do, but I'm getting there. Just a little bit. I'm getting a little better. Dallas currently leads 1-0 over Buffalo. Still in the first period, it is still 1-0 Hurricanes over the Canucks in that one. And the Canadiens all of a sudden up 3-0 in the first over the Capitals. And it looks like they could continue their losing ways if they don't find a way to turn it around in this one. Okay, I need a break for a second. Jesus. You know, it's really hard to talk when you're on your own for a long period of time. So you got to give me credit for like the first 36 minutes of this. Somebody's got to give me a little bit of credit here, okay? I'm trying my best to entertain you guys as much as possible. As Bruins are getting all sorts of chances here. Markstrom stands strong. There's a big scrap in front. Marchand just got sticked. Oh, man, he got sticked up really high. And he is down. I think it was a stick to the – I think it was a cross-check to the face on Marchand. He is really slow to get up here. I have to see a replay of it. It all happened kind of really quick. He does get up okay. It seems like he's okay. And of course, Marchand wants to get into the mix here. As great stand, good save here by Markstrom. I'm just seeing the replay here. Yeah, you had 2 or 3 Flames just kind of go in and all at him. I mean, Marchand was looking for a couple extra pokes at Markstrom, and the Flames were just trying to be defensive there at the crease. I thought it was a little high personally, and I think it could have been a penalty potentially, but unfortunately, that's not how it went down. So there you go. All right, so we're 15 minutes here into the first. Flames currently lead 2-0. Goals from Andrei Kuzmenko and Connor Zary to start. Another piece I wanted to mention tonight is I saw they dropped the top 5 Calder candidates, and it surprised me that Connor Zary was not in the conversation. I think it's now changed because they showed that Bedard was not number 1 anymore for in the running because I guess how long his injury has been. And I think it's Brock Faber out in Minnesota, the defenseman there. And I think he's the number 1 candidate now for the Calder Trophy. And they had other names involved. I think Samuel Arison from Philadelphia was the new number 5. And I know Zary was there for a little bit, but still, I'm surprised that his name at least wasn't mentioned in honorable mentions either. Just I'm surprised that wasn't the case. So what's happening with the Capitals so far? I don't know. I mean, RJ just showed it here. I'll show it again real quick. But the Canadiens are taking a pummeling to the Capitals early on in the first period here. 3-0, an early start. And if you'd like, Jared, I can check and see who the goals were scored by here for Montreal. I'm really hoping for Cole Caulfield here. He's one of my favorite guys to watch, and I kind of hope that he scored tonight. Let's check it out there. 4:29 left there in that game, and it appears that Nick Suzuki had 2 goals and Michael Pezzetta with the third one. Caulfield assisted one. I'm not even going to try pronouncing the guy on one of the guys who assisted it for the Canadiens, and Harvey Pinard with another assist as well too. So that's how it started. Shots are only 9-4 early on for the Canadiens, so not a good start for the Capitals in that one. What are your thoughts on the Blackhawks being next year's Winter Classic against the Blues? Yeah, I did see that today. I think they're at Wrigley Field next year, which is really cool to see again. They're back at an iconic stadium. Sometimes I find the baseball stadiums don't work. Like what they're going to do this year at the Stadium Series, fantastic, right? It's a really good setting. They should really be doing this a lot more at football games, right? At football stadiums. Because I feel like the baseball ones are just not working. You don't really get, a great view. But, I mean, you saw what happened this year at the Winter Classic in Seattle, and the atmosphere there was just electric. So, I might be completely wrong in that aspect there. But, yeah, no, I like it. I like it that it's at Wrigley Field this year. I think it's an iconic stadium. And I'm also not surprised either because – the NHL wants to showcase Connor Bedard, and it just kind of all fell into place a little bit. So, but it's nice that the Blues are going to get a chance to go outdoors as well. So it's just nice to see that they're going to go outdoors too. I think the Blues were outdoors against the Wild recently, if I'm not mistaken. So I don't know. I just like to see there's still some teams that haven't been outdoors yet, and you have to give them an opportunity. So again, I'm not surprised the Blackhawks got a chance to host the Winter Classic next year. Really, it's to showcase Connor Bedard. I mean, that's, it's the marketing tools. It's a money league, right? And, they're going to try and sell as much tickets as possible in a bigger stadium that can hold more capacity. And than Chicago, I think. I could be wrong, but regardless, they're going to try and sell this one out pretty good. And, we'll see how Connor Bedard does. And hopefully he stays healthy for it too. So it's a money cash grab league, and that's probably one of the reasons why they did it. So that's all I got for that one. They're still showing here I think Pospisil might be going to the box. Okay, so I was right. So before the break, Pospisil went a little high on Marchand there, cross-check in front of the net, and it looks like the Flames are going to go on the penalty kill here. It looks like he's gone. He's tossed. Oh, crap. Okay. So a bit of an update here. Martin Pospisil has been tossed from the game for cross-checking up high on Brad Marchand. And I think it's the right call at the end of the day, as much as I hate to say it. Just looking at the replay again, I mean, he's still whacking at it a couple of times, but it just was unintentional. I understand like scrumming in front of the net and trying to get a guy out of the crease, but took a couple of strides and full blown, like right to the face. I get it. You can wrap the guy up, but you can't do that. So now what I'm curious about to see is what I want to know. And here, I'll bring it up here too on Flash Score. So he's going to get a 5-minute major for roughing. Oh, that hurts. That one's going to hurt. Oh, that's no fun. Okay, so Boston's going to get a really good chance here, guys. 5-minute power play. This is the second time a 5-minute power play has gone against the Flames. The last time I think it happened, we were live to as well, and I think it was, who was it? It wasn't Carolina. It wasn't New Jersey. It was an Eastern team, I think, that came out. That's going to bug me now. It was an Eastern team that came out, and it just happened like right before the All-Star break, where it was a 5-minute major. It's actually a 4-on-4 right now. So Marchand's he actually went off for slashing. So he's out for 2 minutes. So it's a 4-on-4. And then when they come out of the box, the Bruins are going to get a rare 3-minute power play. Interesting. So Martin Pospisil has been tossed, and then they're going to probably have to shuffle the lineups a little bit there. But that's going to bug me now, I swear. I have to look back now and just kind of see who they were playing. It was the Blue Jackets. It was 2 games ago, and I don't know who got tossed, but again, it was a 5-minute major, and I guess we're allergic to those now. So again, Marchand goes off for slashing. Pospisil gets kicked for the cross-checking to the face. It was a 5-minute power play it would have been a 5-minute power play, but it looked like I didn't see it well enough, but Marchand did go off for slashing. So currently 4-on-4 for the next 55 seconds here, and then it turns into a 3-minute power play for the Bruins. Just so we're all up to speed, making sure everybody's happy, all right? What else here? Who do we think could be the next matchups in the Stadium Series Heritage Classic? That's a good question. I would imagine that there probably is a decision that's going to be made soon about the Heritage Classic. I heard Winnipeg was going to be involved in it. I'd have to look and see. Dylan, I swear, if your feed's ahead of me, I don't even have it up on the scoreboard yet or the game. I'm just realizing now that he's talking about Elias Lindholm. I thought he was talking about Hampus Lindholm. Not going to lie. That's pretty embarrassing. Okay, so Elias Lindholm scores. Good for him. And we're just going to disregard what I just said, because I thought he was watching the game, and I thought he meant Hampus Lindholm scored. And I'm like, I haven't even seen it yet. Okay, so Elias Lindholm scores for the Canucks. There you go. And there you go. Kuzmenko and Lindholm both score for their new teams tonight. So there you go. But sorry, Goes, I wanted to go back to your question there. I don't know. I heard Winnipeg was going to be part of the Heritage Classic. So I'd like to see Ottawa maybe and Winnipeg get involved a little bit. I don't know. I would imagine maybe it could be like a Montreal-Ottawa type Heritage Classic. We'll see. Stadium Series, it's a toss-up. You could really do a lot of different things with that. I'd like to see Florida involved, I think. I don't think the Panthers have been involved in a Stadium Series game yet, and I think Chuck would love that, being outdoors. So Florida and whoever you decide. That's my 2 cents. Yeah, so Martin Pospisil did get kicked from the game. It was a 5-minute major, and he got kicked for the cross-checking to the face on Brad Marchand. So the 4-on-4 expired. They went to a 3-minute power play. It's now gone down to a minute 55. There's also 50 seconds left in the first period, so there'll probably be about a minute left on the power play if the Bruins do not score before the period ends. Reminder that if they do score, the power play will continue until it's fully done. So regardless, the Bruins are going to have a power play to start the second period with about actually a minute to go in that power play. So let's see what happens here in the final 32 seconds here, as I believe it's the top unit out there. Really good blocking so far by the Flames, and they're going to get a chance, an on-man rush here with Backlund. He might just dump this one in, though. Just a quick shot on Swayman. Nothing crazy here. 20 seconds to go. As shots are currently 11-11, but so far this has been all Calgary. It hasn't seemed like it. The Bruins have had some good chances, don't get me wrong, outside the Charlie Coyle breakaway. Other than that, it's been really good period if you're a Flames fan. And for Boston, you want to see some more high-quality chances. As the period ends, that is it. There's exactly 1 minute to go on the power play to start the second period. So there you go. I'll answer a couple of comments here quickly before we take a little bit of a break here. And I'll get you guys to comment while I'm gone as well. I'll give you guys a little bit of a debate topic if you'd like, and you guys can let me know below. And we'll come back and we'll chat at intermission as well. I don't know what the Bruins will do at the trade deadline. I don't know what they'll do either, man. I really don't. I don't know what they need to add to this team. Again, it might be a lot of those, like they have a lot of really good pieces in place. You don't want to ruin what you have good, what's going good already for this team. Could be some more insurance pieces for that team, but you never know, right? It is 1-1 in New Jersey. I did hear from Neil that, or I will be hearing from Neil. I'm gonna message him soon. That it is currently 1-1 in the first 4 minutes of the game. So hopefully he's having a good one with that one tonight as well. So that'll do it for the first period here. It is break time here in Boston for this one. So what I want to know from you guys while I'm on break, I'll be gone for 3 minutes, and in that time, I want to hear some wild trade scenarios. So give me anything, give me everything that you guys got. I'll come back after the break, and we'll be in fantasy land for a little bit. So currently 2-0 Flames after one. We will be back for the second period here. We might potentially have some more guests in this. Not more guests, but we'll have guests, whatever, in the second period. Give me some crazy trade proposals that you guys think could happen at the deadline coming up, and we'll go over them during this first intermission. So with that being said, we'll take a bit of a break. We'll take a 3-minute break. So if it seems long, I'm sorry. That's just what it is. But we'll be back in 3 minutes, and let us know below some crazy trade proposals that you guys have, and we'll be back. I just knocked about 5 things over on my table. That was embarrassing. Welcome back. What's up? We are back here for the first intermission here. If you guys have been checking in and watching as well, it is currently 2-0 for the Flames early on here in this one. Of course, the game is certainly not over yet, so we'll see how it goes. Before the break, I asked you guys to see what sort of trade proposals we might see, maybe some that we can kind of go over during the break a little bit here. Might get some guests in the second period, and we'll kind of see how it goes. We'll have a chance to chat with some guys coming in the second period, but I just thought we could take some time if you guys have any crazy ideas for your team and trade proposals. We're kind of getting into that year now, where we saw what happened with Lindholm, we saw what happened with Monahan, and we'll kind of see what happens going forward within the next few weeks. But we're going to start seeing some crazy trade proposals happen, and we see it all the time on Cap Friendly. So let's take a look and see. It looks like Goz has got one for us tonight. Let's check it out and see. So Zebras, I think he meant Zegras, but I love that. So I think he meant Trevor Zegras. Okay, here, I'll bring up the actual one here. So Zegras being traded to the Leafs for Bertuzzi, McCabe, and 5 different draft over the next 5 seasons. That's hefty, and it feels like that's something that the Leafs probably would say no to, unless that he would agree to come over and sign an extension, right? Then maybe you might be talking differently. Hey, like if you can get rid of Bertuzzi, great. I think the Leafs would absolutely adore that. I'm not sure if they would maybe switch out McCabe for, I don't know if they would even take John Klingberg. I doubt it, but you might want to switch out Jake McCabe because I think the Leafs are still really happy with the way that he's played this year. So I'm not sure if he might be somebody that might be involved with that trade. And maybe shorten down the draft picks a little bit, maybe 3 draft picks, right? If we saw what Lindholm got, right, with Kuzmenko, 2 prospects and 2 picks, one of them being a first-round pick, well, maybe actually, it's not crazy to say. Yeah, maybe 3 or 4 picks. I mean, I would imagine Zegras' value is probably a little bit more higher than Elias Lindholm. So, no, I don't think that's actually that crazy, depending how desperate some teams could be. But I don't think the Leafs would do this unless he would sign an extension with the team. If it was for a rental, you'd have to, I don't even know what you could fess up for that. So I think it's a little crazy on my end, but again, it's not a bad idea. I think if you can get rid of Bertuzzi, maybe swap out Jake McCabe, and it being like 3 or 4 draft picks, depending on what they are, that might not be a terrible idea, and it might benefit both teams. But again, you might have to throw in like 1 or 2 first-round picks and then kind of go from there. So, but you need something to show that Anaheim's willing to do this, because Zegras is, even though he hasn't shown it a lot in Anaheim, he is one of the stars in the league, right? He was on the cover of friggin' NHL 23. So, you got to give him some credit for that. Gensel or Letang gets traded for picks. So Gensel has been talked about a lot, and I don't know, Pittsburgh's a weird one because it's the way that, where they are in the standings, right? And I'm going to bring it up actually real quick. If you look at the standings for Pittsburgh, let's take a peek here. So if you go to Pittsburgh, they're currently at 51 points here. I did not show the screen. There we go. Sorry. So they're currently at 51 points. They're only 5 points out of a playoff spot for a Philadelphia team that doesn't have their starting goaltender for reasons. We won't bring it up. But yeah, so they're only a couple of points out of a playoff spot right now. And it depends. I don't know. I think, you know what, they might play around with the idea that we might find out in the next couple of weeks. If the Penguins go on a really good stretch, they might keep some of their pieces and try to see what they can make out of this, right? But if things really start going south for this Penguins team, then absolutely, that Gensel probably seems like a likely candidate to get traded. We've heard that Gensel to Vancouver was, a scenario. I don't know what other teams might be looking for a winger. I was thinking about Colorado, but I think Landeskog is coming back for the playoffs, so they might be okay there. He might be a serviceable second liner. Who knows? Excuse me, I got the hiccups now. But yeah, I think there's definitely lots of options out there for Gensel. And if you can get some picks, maybe even a really high prospect out of it too, because he's probably still a really good value, then yeah, I mean, I can absolutely see that. For Letang, I think regardless, he's going to finish out his career in Pittsburgh. It might not seem like the case, but I doubt Letang's got that much further in terms of he can probably see the 18th hole in terms of how long his career might last. So um, unless the Penguins really, really want him out to try and make a run next year or something, then I kind of see myself, I just kind of see him finishing with the Penguins just like Crosby. Malkin might be a different story, though. We'll see how that goes. But maybe I'm wrong, and maybe they decide they do want to trade Letang and get some really good assets from that. So sell high, man. That's all it's going to be. You should set up a call on where people play a game during intermission. I know. Well, so here's my thing. And maybe I'll try this next time because I've thought about it. But yeah, like I'm worried that like I've sent it out. I've done this before, okay, and I've sent it out, and you just get the wrong crowd of people, right? And people just get the link, and it's just like, I've tried it before, trust me. And I think if there's a better way to do it, I mean, absolutely. Realistically, I could just add people onto here, but maybe this is something I'll try next time. So I totally agree with you, Preston, though, for sure. I'm gonna look into it and see if that's something we can do. I just like my fear is like we've had it before, where like you just get interesting people, quote unquote, right? And it's the way it is. But absolutely a great idea, and I think I'll be doing that next time. And it's something we might introduce in the playoffs too, as well. So I love it, and I think we're working on to see if we can do that as well. So, but great suggestion, love it. Letang being traded away. Yeah, again, Letang being brought up again. I don't know. I'd have to see like actually, I guess we don't really need to see the standings here anymore, but I'll go back. I would have to see what his cap friendly is. I don't know. That's a tough one because I think his contract is pretty high in salary, if I'm not mistaken. Chris Letang, yeah. See, the problem with this is that I don't think anybody's going to take it on because he's got 4 more years at $6.1 million. He becomes a UFA at the 2028-29, at the end of the 2028-2029 season. So I don't know if anybody's going to be willing to. Maybe they would. I mean, the problem here is that he's 36 years old, making $6.1 million for the next 4 years. How often do we see a lot of 38, 39, 40-year-old guys being worth that? So I don't know if a lot of teams would bite on it. The Penguins might have to eat some cap here if they want to get rid of him. And if Letang, like if they eat 2 million of it and somebody takes him on for 4, then yeah, okay, I can see that. And if he finishes off career somewhere in San Jose or Anaheim or something like that, then maybe that's a little bit more attainable. I don't know if somebody's going to take on that full $6 million contract. That's just me. The Coyotes trade for someone. Yeah, I think the Coyotes are also in a bit of an interesting spot too, because they did have a good start to the season in terms of being in a playoff spot. And we'll take a look here. And they kind of are still. They're currently tied with the Flames here in points at 49. And they also have 1 game in hand. So they could easily be at 51 right now and easily 3 points back of the playoff spot already. Yeah, you think if you're Arizona at some point, you want to pull the trigger, right? Because you're not going to get a lot of kicks at the can. And, with some of the free agents too that they acquired this off season, I mean, I'm surprised that they got their free agents for when they did at the time. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, they're eating a lot of cap though. That's the problem, I think. I'm going to take a look because you're right. You're absolutely right. I think that it's definitely a possibility that they can go out there and get somebody. Who it is, I don't think they would go after anybody that's an insurancer. But to give you guys an idea of how good this team could be in the next couple of years, let's remind ourselves here something here. The Coyotes have their first round pick for the next 3 years, right? They also have 3 picks in the second round this year. They have 3 picks in the third round this year. They have 4 picks in the second round next year, 2 in the third, 3 second-round picks in 2026. There is a lot of draft capital there for Arizona. So it's not like they can't go after somebody and maybe lose a second-round pick here or there because they'd still have a lot of capital, right? And they do have the assets to trade somebody. So just looking at it here, they have currently $7 million in cap space. So they absolutely have the room to fit somebody in. Also, problem too is that there are a lot of injuries with this roster. And speaking of which, a lot of the guys on the IR that they have, this is crazy. So if you guys forgot, Shea Weber is currently under contract with the Arizona Coyotes on the IR. Okay. He's on long-term injury reserve. They're eating cap. Okay. So Shea Weber's making $7.8 million for the next 3 years. Okay. Jacob Voracek is taking $8.2 million on the IR right now. Brian Little is making 5.2 this year. Okay. Matt Dumba, who they signed last offseason, is also on the IR. He's making 3.9. Okay. And then there's a couple more injuries from there. They have dead cap too from Oliver Ekman-Larsson, and they're dishing out a couple $100,000 for the next 5-6 years and maybe so on as well. They bought out Zach Kassian too, so they have to pay him $1.6 million in 2023 and $700,000 in 2024. And Patrick Nemeth they also bought out, and they're paying him about $1 million, $1.7 million over the course of 2 years. So, man, it's the amount of guys they have on. Look, next year actually is supposed to be okay in terms of getting guys off the IR. They'll actually have a lot of caps to work with, which is good for this team. Clayton Keller, I think, is on a fantastic deal right now, making 7.1 for the next 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 years, which is great. Nick Schmaltz is only making 5.8 for the next 3 years. There's a lot of guys on here, I think, that are making really good cash, right? Their highest, outside of Matt Dumba, who's making 3.9 million, right? Outside of Matt Dumba, the highest guy that's getting paid on the Coyotes is Sean Durzi. And everybody's got 1 year left on this defense, okay? There's 6 guys that they're showing on defense. They're all free agents, UFAs and RFAs this summer. Sean Durzi makes the most at $1.7 million. That is wild here. It makes no sense. So take that as you will. And to finish off with that, I think Arizona has the potential to really do something interesting next year. And that's a team that could very well add some pieces going into the next season. So we'll see what happens. But great session, guys. That was good. We are getting back here to the start of the second period. Again, reminder that the Bruins are on the power play here to begin the second period. They got about a minute left here on the Martin Pospisil cross-checking. Again, it was a 5-minute major. He got kicked out of the game. Brad Marchand was also in the box at the same time for 2 minutes for slashing. So it ended up really being a 4-on-4 for 2 minutes, turned into a 3-minute power play that the Bruins are now still currently on with a minute left here as the puck is now dropped and we're underway here in the second period in this one. Flames currently lead 2-0. Shots are currently 12-10 in favor of Calgary. Is Tom Fitzpatrick here? I have no idea. I should just say yes. I don't know. I have no idea. I couldn't tell you. I apologize. Also, I forgot to get my predictions early on too for this game. I was going to say Boston, if I'm being quite frank. I had Boston winning. I think I was going to mention Liam's score here. I had pretty much the same thing. I had Boston winning 4-2. So if anybody else has any quick predictions for the rest of this game and how it's going to go, please let me know. So 20 seconds left here in the power play. Bruins can't really get set up here as the Flames are playing really well here defensively, and puck goes right back down the ice. And it's going to spill the end of this power play. So the Bruins are not successful on at least 3 minutes of power play here for the Martin Pospisil cross check. So the power play is officially over and not a very successful one for the Bruins. But I imagine they're still going to come out flying here in the second period as they're going to try and find themselves to get back into this game here. But right now, if you're a Flames fan, you got to be very happy with the performance. You got to be very happy with the first line, at least two for this team. And you got to be overall happy with the way that the chemistry is working so far with Huberdeau, Kuzmenko, and Igor Sharangovich. So it's working really well, and very happy to see how well they're doing so far. So it's good to see. I'm just checking real quick to see what the schedule looks like, because this is probably the first of a couple of games they're on the road for Calgary here. It looks like, yes, they're in Boston tonight. They're going to be in New Jersey Thursday night against the Devils. That game will be on at 7 o'clock. They'll be at the Islanders on Saturday at 1, and they'll finish it off on Monday, the 12th, against the Rangers before they head back home for a really long homestand. They got about 4 or 5 games they'll be at home, and they haven't played the Bruins this year for a sec. Excuse me, they didn't play the Boston Bruins earlier on this year in Calgary. They will play again against each other on the 22nd of February in Calgary, and that'll be a Thursday night game in that one. So we'll see what happens as Flames getting some more chances here early on here in the second. Again, all the pressure just coming into the Boston zone here, and the Flames getting set up pretty easily again here as the second line is out there for Calgary. And I'm just surprised the way Boston's been playing tonight. A little slow coming out of the All-Star break. The only guy that was really gone for the All-Star break was David Pastrnak. So, it might take a little bit for the Bruins to kind of get going here, but I'm really surprised this is the way the game's gone so far. I mean, if you're a Flames fan too, you had nobody show up at the All-Star game, which, by the way, traffic for Toronto was ridiculous. Okay. I live about 45 minutes to an hour from Toronto, give or take. And I unfortunately had to go around Toronto, even then, on Friday, mid-afternoon. The traffic was unbelievable. I couldn't believe it. You want a story like Ryan Whitney says on Pearson Airport? It's nothing compared to the traffic that you deal with on a daily basis. My dad travels an hour to just outside of Toronto for work, and I don't know why he does it. I commend him, but people don't understand how bad the traffic can be up here. I don't want to be anywhere near Toronto on a Friday, on a Saturday, any of that kind. But if you want a quick funny story real quick, just for 2 seconds, I've been down to Toronto before on a Sunday morning for an appointment, and it was a ghost town. It was the freakiest thing. There were no cars. There were no people. It was like 8:30 in the morning, 9 give or take, and nobody was out. Everybody was sleeping in. Either everybody was hammered or they just didn't want to come outside. There was nobody downtown Toronto that morning. So I thought it was pretty funny. Liam saying somebody's going to get kicked out of the Penguins game now. Interesting. We'll have to see. Keep me updated. Let me know who it is if that's the case. We already have one person who got kicked out of the game tonight, at least that we know of. It is Martin Poss, so who's gone out of that one too. Got a lot of people checking in tonight for the game. I appreciate it. I'm on my own. I'm trying to entertain you guys as much as possible. Keep going too with more trade proposals that you guys have. We were doing a little bit at the intermission break. We can do it again at second intermission too. And as the game continues, if you guys have any crazy trade proposals that you guys have for your team, let me know in the comments and we'll talk about it and we'll go over it as well. And you can let us know what your thoughts and feelings are about it. But Liam, let me know who got kicked out of the Penguins game in that one. And we'll keep an eye on that one for sure. Somebody wants in on something. It sucks multitasking work at the same time. This is ridiculous. The things that I do for people, it's ridiculous. But yeah, long story short, don't go to Toronto on a Friday or a Saturday for that matter. It's a waste of time. I've never been to New York City. I'm telling you, it's worse. The traffic is worse. It's a nightmare. It's crazy. Even the subway system is a joke. So there's my 2 cents on it. Sucks. Don't do it. Shots are 14-10 for Calgary. Still 2-0 here in this one with 15 minutes to go in the second period. As Liam's saying, someone on the Penguins helmet came off after a hit. I'd have to see it. I don't know. Sometimes when a helmet comes, I don't know, maybe it was a dirty hit or maybe, again, I'd have to see it maybe later, but fair enough. We'll see what happens. Dylan on the Jets gets kicked out. I think he means Brendan Dillon gets kicked out of the Jets and Penguins game in that one. So couple of guys getting kicked out already, and as we're back to action tonight here after the All-Star break. So for those of you who missed it earlier, Martin Poss was also kicked out of this one for the Flames for cross-checking high on Brad Marchand. Marchand also went off for a 2-minute slash in that one as well. So there you go. Toronto nightlife is crazy in the summer. I know. It's bonkers. It is ridiculous. It's also really scary because even when if you're even if not even just the nightlife, which is a fair point, but even if you're leaving like a baseball game, right, or whatever, or a soccer game, or I know it's a little bit further away, but still, or a concert, even better example. If you're leaving a concert in Toronto, I went to a concert in Toronto this past summer, and it took, I'm not kidding you, it took us 2 hours just to get out of Toronto. There's no system. The trains, like, there's people packed into the subway system, okay, because there's one or two, and the second one you don't want to do because it's a little sketchy, in my opinion. But the subway's packed with so many people because you have thousands of people getting out at the same time, right? Everybody generally gets in their car at the same time as soon as the concert's over. And you would think there's a lot of ways to get out of Toronto, but it all connects back to one or two highways. So everybody's trying to get out in the same way. And I've been asked how to get out before, and I genuinely don't know if there's a right or wrong way of doing things. You have to it's almost like you have to walk from the concert venue, aka Rogers Arena or the Scotiabank Arena where the Leafs play, if they have a concert there. It's almost like you have to walk 20 to 25 minutes away just to get in the car and get out without any traffic problems. It's ridiculous. It's damn right a hot mess. It sucks. It's the worst. Why people live there, it's a joke. Last thing, and then I'll move on from Toronto. We had a close friend that just got engaged, and they have a great job down in Toronto, working at the hospital, like all great, like really well-paying job, and they both make really good income, and it's great. They pay for I think it's a 2-bedroom, 1-bathroom apartment in downtown Toronto. I think it's close to $3,000 a month. Don't even get me started. Take that as you will. It's crazy. You'll never convince me to live down there. Going back to the Brendan Dillon hit there in Pittsburgh, it looked like it was an illegal hit to the head. If you guys want to go check it out, I might check it out at intermission just to kind of see what happened there. But I'll let you guys know what our thoughts are on that one. Again, if you guys have any sort of trade proposals, anything you think is going to happen the next couple of weeks here. One thing I was going to quickly mention too was the fact that Chris Tanev and Noah Hanifin, I think, are probably going to get traded from this team, to be quite frank. It sounds like Noah Hanifin's contract extension, the talks have been stalled a little bit, and it seems like we need to make a decision soon. I don't think he wants to play in Canada anymore, my personal opinion for Noah Hanifin. I think he wants out, and I want to get some good value for him, right? So I think Tanev could go. I think Hanifin can go too if he wants, and I think if that's the case, you want to get really good value. So I was hopeful, that Hanifin would have an extension by the deadline. I'm surprised that he didn't. So I don't know. I thought an extension was going to come for Noah Hanifin, but what do I know? It's pretty unfortunate to see, but I know people have a lot of mixed feelings, and you want to try, now that Lindholm's gone, you want to try and sell more and get more assets back. But what's crazy is if the Flames win tonight, you're still in the conversation for a playoff spot. So that's the crazy part too. So anyway, that's just my 2 thoughts on it. I'd love your guys' thoughts to see, who else Calgary might trade before the deadline, who else might get traded for the deadline. I know they'll probably come out with a trade list very soon. We mentioned Jake Gensel, Chris Letang earlier about some potentials. Trevor Zegras apparently could be out as well. I don't know if it'll be at the deadline, but his name has popped up a little bit too. So let me know what else you guys think of, any crazy trade proposals you guys might have, and we can go over them, as we are getting closer to the deadline, and a lot of names are going to start popping up very quickly. So we'll see how it goes. Toronto teams suck too. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I can't really argue that. My whole entire family lineage is full of Leaf fans, and I hate it because we've done live streams before on here, and amazingly, those do really well because we get a lot of people coming in for that one, and we have good guests that come on for that one too. There's just so many goddamn Leaf fans. I can't take it. But hey, everybody's got their own opinions. So there you go. MC saying, when is the deadline? That's a great question. I think it's at the beginning of March. Let me check it for you real quick here. It's either at the beginning of March or it's at the end of February here. Let's check it out here. I hate when you ask a question and then it's like it doesn't even give you a correct answer. It's like you ask a question on Google and it's like, oh, let me give you random links that. Okay, here we go. Friday, March 8th is the deadline this year. So it's probably what? 1, 2, 3, 4 weeks away. So it's closer than you think. It's only 4 weeks away. So we'll see what happens. Yeah, I don't know. I'm surprised that more hasn't happened. More dominoes have kind of fallen ever since the Lindholm trade, especially even since Monahan trade too as well over the past weekend. So I'm imagining more dominoes will fall probably by the end of the week this week, maybe next week, give or take. My thoughts were, I honestly thought Tanev was going to get traded by the deadline, but that didn't happen. Liam saying it's now 2-0 for the Penguins. I think that's true. And RJ does a great job as well, putting up some of the scores here on the side. Let's check it while we're up to date, as I have a coughing attack for about 2 seconds here. I apologize. There was a time right after Christmas, guys, I had 2 to 3 weeks where I couldn't stop coughing, and it was a nightmare. So yeah, Canadians currently lead now 3-1. The Capitals, I guess, found a way to the back of the net, so good for them as they're trying to crawl their way into that one. Dallas currently tied 1-1 with the Sabres. They're in the second. Sabres, I guess, did answer eventually. And the Avalanche and the Devils are also tied at 1 after 1. Alrighty. So in this one here, about 12 minutes to go here, still a little bit back and forth. Nothing crazy has been happening. Stat here too as well. The Flames are 2-1 this season with guys who with three different goal scorers. I missed it. It went way too fast. And a really good chance though for the Flames is Anderson just missed wide. God, they throw up these graphics so fast. It's like a stat and you want to read it and then it's gone. Either that or I'm an idiot. I think it's both, but whatever. Liam again saying it's now 3-0 for the Penguins. Good for them. Good stuff. Love to see it. RJ, again, thank you for providing this. It is going to be March 8th, by the way, for the deadline, and it's at 3 p.m. So I'll leave this up for a second. I am curious to see what else you guys think. By all means, comment below. I'd love to hear some of your trade proposals. We can kind of talk about them and go over a bit. You guys can give us your thoughts as well, too. Anybody else that we can think of that might get traded by the deadline or a name to throw out there as a possibility. I've kind of thought about it too a little bit before tonight. And I think one other name, I was trying to bring up who it was, and I thought about it earlier and I was like, oh yeah, that's totally a guy who could totally get traded. I have to find him real quick though. Because I'm looking at teams of like guys that, like the teams that are kind of trailing off a little bit, right? So like the Capitals is probably a really good example. This one's actually interesting because I thought Evgeny Kuznetsov I thought was going to go. Now it's changed because he's put himself into the player assistance program, and that's all of a sudden changed. So if the Capitals are still trying to find selling points and trying to get assets back, a name that they might mention could be Dylan Strome. He's got 19 goals and 12 assists this year with 31 points. Another centerman, another piece that somebody might want to use as a second line center. He's having a good year so far with the Capitals, and somebody who, depending on what his contract is, I'd have to take a look and see. I'd be curious if Dylan Strome is a guy that's going to be talked about at the deadline. Yeah, he's having a good year though. 19 goals and 12 assists. I got to give him a lot of credit. He's doing very well this year. So another team I was going to mention. I'm so curious about this one. And I want your guys' thoughts on this if you get a chance. Marc-Andre Fleury for the Minnesota Wild, right? So he's played 23 games this year, and he has got, what are his stats here? He's got a 2.95 goals against average in the 23 games? Yeah, 23 games this year. He's got a 2.95 goals against average and a .897 save percentage. Not bad. And especially when we're getting closer to when playoffs do happen. Like, I feel like we're at a time of year where, in that time of year, where you need more than one goaltender, right? You need two goaltenders to get far, right? And a lot of the times you'll just see, as an example, like for the Rangers, Shesterkin, he might be playing a bunch, right? A good, probably all the playoff games, right? But if you ever really need to play, if you want to be one of those teams that plays a two goalie system, you would think that somebody might want to pick up Marc-Andre Fleury. I would love to see him get one more kick at the can and to see if he can go on a run with one of the teams. So I want to bring up Minnesota's cap friendly here because I just want to know if Fleury's on his last leg here, because he is, so he's only getting paid $3.5 million and he's only on a 1-year deal, and he's 39 years old. So it really feels like this could be it for him. I would love to see where he ends up. So, that's just my 2 cents. I'd love to hear what are your guys' thoughts on it. Where do you think Marc-Andre Fleury could end up? Like, what's a good fit for him? I don't really know. I think there's a lot of potential because there's a lot of teams out there looking for goaltending, i.e. the Leafs, the Devils, the Hurricanes, etc. Debate me about it if you want, but that's just me. I think Marc-Andre Fleury should find a new home fairly soon. Andrew checking in. What's going on, Andrew? We were just kind of chatting about proposals and trades and all that fun stuff. I'd love to hear, Andrew, if you have any thoughts or proposals that you had in mind on anybody who could be moved before the deadline, who you'd like to see make a move, and how it all will shape out. So if you have any proposals, by all means, we've been having some good chats about that tonight. So, I'd love to see what Fleury does. While we're on Minnesota here for a second, before we go back to the game here, they're just at ad break here. Kirill Kaprizov is still playing really well, like 19 goals, 26 assists. Eriksson Ek, 21 goals and 18 assists. You got to give him a lot of credit for that. So, but other than that, it's pretty low for the Wild. Not a great record. So I'll leave it at that. Marc-Andre Fleury, the Columbus Blue Jackets, or the Devils. Yeah, because I think with Columbus, they wanted to. Well, I think Merzlikins was going to go. I think he was going to get traded. He probably is likely to get traded too. So I think, I don't know if it would work for Columbus because I think that Marc-Andre Fleury, if he wanted to get traded, he would probably want to go to a cup contender, give it one more last kind of kick at the can. New Jersey would be a bad option if they find their way back into the playoff picture and he gets like another little chance as a wild card team or however that settles out. But yeah, both decent options there, Andrew. I like it. Jeremy checking in. I don't watch hockey at all, but I bet on the Bruins. Do you think they will win? Listen, you can't not bet on this team, even when they're down 2-0 to the Flames, which I have no faith in sometimes. So, if there's any time to do a live bet, it's probably now, right, for the Bruins. I would imagine this is a team who's 31-9-9, and they could find a way back into this game very quickly. So even though it was 2-0 after 1 for the Flames, I don't have a lot of faith in them sometimes holding leads. So all the Bruins really need is 1, and they're back in this game, no problem. So, I mean, hey, if you want to do a live bet, guys, you can do it all on DraftKings Sportsbook app. And use code THPN by all means as well. I'll probably move it just in case you guys want to see it. There you go. If there's any time to do a live bet, if you want, you guys can do it right now with code THPN, and you'll get a chance to do that on DraftKings Sportsbook. It's probably a good time if you want to do it for the Bruins because, that's I think I'd probably be doing that right now if I was neutral. I'd probably be betting on that Bruins team. Not gonna lie. A little bit of an update here. Jackets to host the 2025. Oh, we got some breaking news. Thank you, RJ. So the Blue Jackets are set to host the 2025 Stadium Series game at Ohio Stadium. That place is going to go bonkers. What a sight. That's fantastic. And if we get a chance to hear who they're going to play, that'd be great. But there you have it, guys. The Jackets are going to be hosting the 2025 Stadium Series game at Ohio Stadium. That's fantastic. That's great. A lot of those college campuses who would be able to host an NHL game outdoors. That's so good, especially like at a time when college football is over and they introduce that now into some of these college stadiums who have fairly big stadiums to host and have the capacity. I love it. I think it's an absolute home run. And Who they would get, I don't know. I think it'd be somebody probably in the Metro for the Jackets. I don't know. I mean, you could probably throw Florida in there if that's a possibility. I'm just trying to think of other teams. Let's see. Carolina could probably play in Columbus. Not a bad option. Um, who else? I'm trying to think. You could do Detroit, maybe. I'm just trying to think of like what's kind of close, but there's a lot of really good options that you can't miss on. I think Carolina could be a good option there, but I think Florida deserves a shot at a Stadium Series. So that's just me, but I think you can't really go wrong with that. That's a fantastic spot though to have it, and yeah, I hope they do a lot more of those college stadiums going forward. So thank you for that, RJ. Appreciate it. This might sound crazy, but the Penguins look like a great team right now. We're only one game back from an All-Star game. Let's see what happens. Goes with saying, I think I predicted that once, but I thought the Blackhawks were the opponents. I love that. That's amazing. Oh, about the Stadium Series. Okay, gotcha. So we predicted the Blackhawks for the Stadium Series. Thank you. So for those of you joining too recently, the Blackhawks, I guess they announced that they are hosting the Winter Classic next year at Wrigley Field. It'll be the Blues taking on the Blackhawks in next year's Winter Classic as Swayman covers up and makes another good save. Again, I can't really say much has really happened in the second period. It's been good back and forth, but nothing that exciting, man. The Flames have played really good defensively so far, and I got to give them a lot of credit. They've played really well as two Bruins players just collided with each other. Like full-blown collided. Amazing. Love it. Andrew here. Dumba to Florida or Tampa Bay? Yeah, so he's on IR right now. I don't know how long he's out for, but I'm going to look up because that's interesting. Let's check out how long Dumba's out for. Ready for Winterfest, blah, blah, blah. And you know what's funny? If you just type in Matt Dumba on Google and you go to the news, it looks like his name's coming up a lot. The Leafs should circle back for a defenseman like Matt Dumba, best trade destinations for Dumba. It was an upper body injury. I want to know. I think based on, I don't think he's out long. I think he was week to week. Okay. So Matt Dumba was out for week to week, meaning he'll be okay for anybody who wants to trade for him. Florida or Tampa? That's really interesting. I think Florida would want him more because I think Florida now is a better team. They're in a better position in the Eastern Conference. They're going to have home ice advantage a little bit more now, and to shore up their defense, you add a guy like Matt Dumba, even if he plays at the bottom six, or excuse me, if he's on the bottom two pair of your defense, it's not a bad guy to have. So I think Florida might want him more. I think it makes sense for both teams maybe to try and go after him. Another team that will probably be involved, and I just mentioned them as I was reading the news articles there, is probably the Leafs. They need some defensive help, and they might want to target a guy like Matt Dumba, who's on the final year of a deal worth $3.6 million. So I think a lot of those teams make sense. But yeah, no, Andrew, I agree. I think Florida or Tampa would be a really good fit for Dumba. You can go either or. I think either way, it would be a good fit. And a lot of teams, I think, are looking for that kind of extra insurance piece as well. Scramble in front of the net, and it's not going to go in. As Sharangovich and Huberdeau were trying to jam away at home, and the Flames almost picking up a 3-0 lead, but it's not to be. Really what's standing out, though, for this team right now is this first line. It's been really good tonight, despite only having, obviously, Kuzmenko scored early on for the Flames. It's been high confidence for this first line. It feels like the Flames really have nothing to lose, and I'm really happy from what I'm seeing so far from this team. So it's good stuff. 4:36 to go here in the second. Shots are now 19-12. Flames out shooting the Bruins here a little bit in the second period. I'd like to say in terms of Boston that the second period has been their worst period compared to just looking at it from the first. I thought the Bruins had a lot of really good high-scoring chances. They had the one breakaway early on from Charlie Coyle. Other than that, they didn't really take advantage of that 3-minute power play, which I won't get into, but it happened. And I'm surprised that they didn't really take advantage of it at all. And throughout the second period, they haven't had a chance to really set up in the offensive zone. And the Flames have played really well defensively, and they've been blocking shots too, which has been important. So I give them a lot of credit for that. 3:52 to go. All right. Yossi will go to Montreal or Red Wings. I'm assuming Roman Yossi without the one S. It's all good. Roman Yossi. Interesting. Because the Predators that's interesting. I don't know if the Preds would do that. I don't know. Because, again, I'm going back to cap friendly here. He is, yeah, I don't know if that's going to work simply because he's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more years and $9 million. If it gets closer to the end of the contract and the Predators aren't going anywhere, then yeah, I can maybe see Yossi maybe being on the move. But as of right now, I still think the Predators are in a playoff spot. If anything, they might be buyers at the deadline. I can't imagine that Yossi will head out to Montreal or Detroit. And if that happens, it would be a even higher package than what Elias Lindholm got right recently. So that's just me. But I don't think Yossi would be dealt, but it's a good thought. I'll give you credit. Do you think the Oilers will beat the win streak tonight? Oh, they'll beat the win streak record. So they're going for 17 tonight, and they're in Vegas. And their next game after Vegas, let me take a quick peek here. Their next game after Vegas is the Ducks. Let's put it this way. If they win tonight, they're in Anaheim. I think they'll lock down the record. Or will Edmonton will keep winning or be stopped? Yeah, so here's my thought on it. They could win 25 games in a row. It means nothing at the end of the day. I hate to say it. It really doesn't mean anything in the world. And these guys know it too. It's a great win streak. It's great to have Edmonton now back in the conversation here. I mean, if you just look at the standings, like they're all of a sudden, they're at 59 points. And, if things keep going well for this team, if they have a good month here in February and March, they might be right up there with the Canucks battling for that number one spot in the Pacific Division, right? They're only, right now, it's a big game for the Golden Knights too, because they're only 5 points up on Edmonton right now. If Edmonton can find a way to win tonight, puts them 3 points behind Vegas, and that changes things a lot in that division. So, yeah, I don't think it matters. It really doesn't. You have to be hot at the right time. And I think Edmonton fans can agree that they would love to be on this win streak in April, right? My concern is that did they peak too quickly this season? Because at some point it's going to tail off. It will. It's going to tail off at some point. I think if they win tonight against Vegas, they will beat the record. I think they can go in and beat Anaheim, no problem. But it's about the playoffs. You start from scratch. Everybody starts at zero. Whatever you did in the past means absolutely nothing, right? So it's great. I admire it. I think it's fantastic. If they beat the record, great. It's something to remember it by. But I don't think that's what they care about right now. They care about, how close they've been a couple of times to winning the cup. And to be honest, if they beat Vegas last year, in my opinion, I think they probably would have won it all, right? But yeah, I think they have bigger goals in mind. So that's just me. I don't think that the record matters to me personally. It's just, they could win 25, 26, 27 games in a row, and it still won't matter. You have to perform in the playoffs, especially if you're the Oilers. I think if it's a different team, maybe if you take Nashville, for example, and you use them and said, okay, they're on this 16, 17 game win streak, I think we're having a bit of a different conversation because the Predators all of a sudden bolt themselves up into, high into that division, put themselves in a good spot. And then it's a really good feeling like, man, we really do have something here and we can kind of show a little bit come playoff time. So I think it's a different scenario for every team. But for Edmonton, it's the playoffs. That's the only thing that matters. And we're going to see what happens to them, obviously, at the deadline coming up and when the playoffs loom, because it looks like this team's probably going to get in now that they've gotten to this point and after their slow start to the season. So that's on me. I'd love to hear what your guys' thoughts are. If you think they'll win tonight, tie the record. If you think they'll beat the record, and where you guys think they finish up by the end of the year. So we'll see how it goes. Unfortunately, we didn't get our guest tonight here in the second period. Honestly, not a big deal. It's all good. But with 1:11 to go here in the second, it's been a lot of pressure as I've just been seeing a little bit of action here. Zari's going to give up the puck, though, and it's going to be an odd man rush the other way as the Bruins, it gets taken away, though, easily by Noah Hannafin. And the Flames will regroup here with 57 seconds to go here and an icing call coming to Calgary. Toby Keith passed away. I did not hear about that. I'm going to check up real quick to see if that's true. Not that I don't believe you. I just need to see for myself. You are correct. Toby Keith, about 9 hours ago, this was posted. He was dead, pronounced dead at 62 years old. Yeah, that's unfortunate. I didn't listen to a lot of Toby Keith, but yeah, that's unfortunate to see. So, what else do we got here? Lindholm has 2 goals in his first game as a Canuck. Good for him. He had 9 goals so far for the Flames this year. So he clearly wasn't putting in a full effort with the Flames, having the 9 goals that he did at the time. And good for him, man. He's on a good team now, and we'll see how the Canucks do going forward. I don't think the Canucks are going far in this playoffs, though, to be quite frank. You can't convince me so far that they will. Second period intermission coming up for you guys. Maybe I'll get into that a little bit, my thoughts on the Canucks going into the second intermission. It is still a 2-0 game for the Flames here with 1 period to go here. Markstrom's just stood on his head. He's played very well. The Bruins are just getting pushed around, and Markstrom's played well. The defense has played really well. They've been blocking really well, and if the Flames can find a way in this third period to win in regulation in Boston, it's going to give them a lot of confidence going forward. And, it's something where they're kind of like, okay, well, maybe we do have something here, right? Because it's very rare for a team to go in Boston this season and last year, by all means, to go into Boston and win. They're doing something well right now. I love what they're seeing. And it's going to be a really good third period that we're definitely going to pay attention to when the time comes. I was just going to bring this up, Jared. You read my mind. Any other trades you think should happen? We're all really messing up our words tonight. It's not just me. I got to put a little bit of onus on you guys too as well. But yeah, so why don't I take another break and we'll come back. I'd love to hear everybody else's trade proposals as well when we come back. We had a couple of good ones earlier. I'd love to hear some more comments below about what sort of proposals that you guys might have for your team, what players you'd like to see you acquire or who you think is going to get dealt. Would love to see what you guys think of some of the trades coming up here as the trade deadline looms. As of right now, though, I am going to take a bit of a break. Again, I'd love to hear what you guys say during this time, and I'll be back in 3 minutes, and we'll be back for third period action as the Flames do lead the Bruins 2-0 in a shocking performance so far, in my eyes. But yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Let's take a bit of a break here, and we'll be back. Finishing up a text here, really bad timing. I thought I was going to get it off, but I did not. And I totally did not spell that right either. I'm so sorry. There we go. We're back. We are back here for second intermission action. Liam earlier said that Brendan Dillon did get taken out of the game, and I actually did get a chance to see the illegal hit, and it was not pretty. I would imagine that they're gonna look at it and see what sort of consequences are gonna go that way. But yeah, let's check out some of the comments here real quick here as we're back here in the second intermission break here. Is Jeremy Swayman the goalie right now? He is. Swayman is the goalie right now for the Bruins. Markstrom is in net currently for the Flames right now. Goes is saying, slightly off topic here, but he's planning what 200th jersey in my collection. Maybe it was an NHL jersey game worn, of course. What do you think it'll be? Yeah, you want to make it special. Clearly, if you're that high in your collection, I think you should make 200 a pretty special one. Yeah, if you can find a way to get a game worn one, I would completely agree with that. I think that'd be a pretty cool collection. Or get something that you wouldn't normally get, right? Maybe throw it off a little bit. I don't know. Get like a Hartford Whalers game worn jersey. I don't know. I don't even know where you would get that, to be honest. Sign it off on your own little Sharpie. You can try that. Connor checking in. Hey, Connor, what's going on? I just mentioned to everybody too before the break that, if you had any sort of questions about, or not even questions, if you guys have any sort of trade proposals that you guys had on your end, any sort of crazy, outlandish proposals that we can kind of look at. We had a couple of good ones there in the first intermission, and I'm just curious to see if anybody else had any more proposals specifically for their team. Connor, I know we've had you on in the past, and we just obviously saw what the Canucks and the Flames did last week with the Elias Lindholm trade. I've been told that that Elias Lindholm has scored 2 goals already for the Canucks. Kuzmenko scored 1 tonight, though, for the Flames, so it's crazy that that's the kind of start that we've had already for our new teams. So, and as soon as I say that, Lindholm loving his new digs. Canucks forward nets a power play tally for his second goal of his debut. And I'm going to just check real quick to see what the score is actually for that game. It's got to be 2-1. Oh, it's 2-2 right now for the Canucks and the Hurricanes. So Elias Lindholm has both goals for the Canucks. So good to see him get off to a really good start. And as Connor mentioned, he says, doing grand. Not very happy about the trade. I wanted Kuzi to stay. I wanted your thoughts, actually, because it was either going to be, there was talks that it was either going to be Kuzmenko or Höglander. I think either way we're going to be involved. Probably assuming off of what you're saying here is that you would rather maybe see Höglander go instead of Kuzmenko. From what I heard from Canucks fans just initially when the trade came out, that a lot of them were not happy with it. I think it's a lot to give up for a guy for Elias Lindholm, but I'll say this. I think it's a really good value for now because you're only paying him $4.9 million or something like that. 4 point something, whatever it is. And, yes, it's a lot. It is a lot to give up, but you're also thinking about, hey, we can still add some really good pieces for a potential playoff run, right? So I think with a trade like this, we probably won't know the outcome of it until maybe even next year, maybe by the end of maybe by the end of whenever the Canucks playoff run is done, whether they win the cup or not, right? I don't think we're going to really know this trade until that point, or maybe the middle of next season, and we'll get an idea of kind of where we're at, right? Or if Lindholm doesn't sign an extension and he decides to go off somewhere else. So I'm curious to see. I mean, I know Höglander's name was brought up a lot in the talks, but I'm personally, I love Kuzmenko on this team. He's done great so far. He's had a lot of really good opportunities tonight against Boston, and I can't wait to see more. So I'll get to you in 1 second here. I'm just going to answer something here for work real quick. Sounds great. Okay. Sorry, guys. So Höglander was never mentioned from what I heard. And to be honest, we traded for an 8-goal guy for a 9-goal guy of very little benefit. Honestly, I don't know if Lindholm was putting his best foot forward for the team. So, I mean, he's clearly got what, 10 goals, 11 goals now in the season because he's got 2 tonight. But yeah, I mean, it's an upgrade. It's for sure an upgrade. You needed a guy at center. He's serviceable. He's got playoff experience as well, too. Again, it's a very low cap hit, meaning you can still go out and get more guys. But yeah, Calgary really did pretty well here on this trade. I wanted your thoughts, though, Connor. I heard there were a lot of Canucks fans that were not happy with Hunter I'm going to butcher his name, Bruschwitz, the prospect who was also involved in the trade. There were a lot of Canucks fans who weren't happy that he went the other way. He's currently got 60 some odd points, leading the OHL in points in defense. He's third on the list in overall points. I just wanted your thoughts on what you think of the prospect, and why Canucks fans were upset that they lost him in the deal. That's just from what I saw there. Calgary got the best. Calgary got the best with their round picks, with the picks. Yeah. So it was they also included a first round pick. There was also another prospect, Joni Jurmo, who hasn't played a lot of games. He's playing out in Sweden or Finland right now, one of the two. I can't remember. But they got a first round pick and a conditional fourth round pick. And to specify on that, Connor's saying too that if the Canucks do make the conference finals this year, the pick then becomes third. It's a third round pick instead of a fourth round pick if the Canucks get to the Western Conference final this year. So, yeah, interesting stuff. I wanted to go back here to just what he mentioned about Höglander. He was never mentioned. I heard otherwise, and maybe I'm wrong. I've been wrong before. I think maybe what I was hearing is I think Canucks fans wanted to get rid of Höglander, or actually it might have been Flames fans who were kind of hoping Höglander was also a part of the trade. Either him or Kuzmenko, I think Flames fans would have been happy with. But no, I think, just speaking on me personally about the whole trade, I think this was a home run. Like it was a phenomenal trade for Craig Conroy. In terms of the blockbuster trade, we had the one obviously last year with Toffoli, and you get Sharon Govich in return. It's a home run pick. It's awesome to see. You get Bruschwitz, a right-handed defenseman who's leading the OHL defenseman in points, who's been unbelievable this year. It's a really good prospect. It's Kuzmenko, who you're only taking on $5.5 million in the cap, give or take, 5.6 on the cap for the rest of this year and next year, for a guy who might put up a lot of really good goals scoring, right? And if the Flames decide that he wants to get traded, that if they can trade him at the deadline and flip him for some more picks and guys who want a goal scorer, well, there's your guy right there. So I really, really love what Conroy did. I think it's a really good, it's going to benefit a lot of, it's going to benefit Kuzmenko because he's going to play on this top line. He's going to get a lot of power play minutes. He's going to be the guy to be a goal scorer on this team. And for me, that's going to help Jonathan Huberdeau too, as well. So I hope that Huberdeau can kind of find his game more in the sense that he can work with Kuzmenko a little bit and say, hey, dude, like, I'm going to feed you and I'm going to try to give you as much as we can about it. So Connor saying more about what I heard is we wanted Tanev also. I also heard that too. I heard that they wanted Tanev a part of the package as well too, but it fell through. Not sure why, to be honest. I don't know why either, but I did hear that as well, that they thought that he was also going to be a part of that package. And I think a lot of people were surprised that he wasn't, especially with how big the package was. Prospect Bruschwitz gone to Calgary too, not happy about it either. That was the sense I got too from a lot of Canucks fans, that they weren't happy with the fact that Bruschwitz went the other way. Just to give you guys a little bit of, look it up here real quick about Bruschwitz here, just to give you guys a little bit of information on him. So he's currently playing for the Kitchener Rangers here in the Ontario Hockey League. And to give you a little bit of insight, maybe last year too as well, in 68 games, he had 6 goals and 51 assists for a total of 57 points. He was a +8 on the ice. And this year so far for the Rangers, 49 games in, he's got 61 assists and 8 goals on the year for the Rangers for a total of 69 points. Nice. 49 games into the year, so they're closely approaching the OHL playoffs on that side, and he's not done yet, so he might get close to 100 points by the time it's all said and done for the season. So I'm really happy we have him. Sorry that Canucks fans are not happy with it, unfortunately. The way I see it, management can say they went all in, but they were played for saps, and now we're giving you guys a lifeline. Yeah, that's a good point. Because who knows? I mean, if they hold on tonight here, currently second intermission, guys, by the way, they hold on tonight, you're only 3 points out of a playoff spot, and it's not out of the realm of possibility that this team can make the playoffs. My only issue is that, I'd rather this team finish in the bottom 10 of the league, because that way you can keep your pick this year, or because if you do, you're going to have to give a first round pick to Montreal regardless, right? Whether it be this year or next year. I'd rather try to keep the pick this year and see what you can get out of it. I've heard that it's a decent draft class, and I'd like to see what kind of prospect we can get this year. And if it means going into next year and knowing that we have to perform well in order to, give the Canadiens a bad first round pick, quote unquote, like a later on first round pick, then we'll have to be okay with that. However, on the flip side of it, if we're also selling guys at the deadline next year and we have to sell a guy for a first round pick, then it might not matter at the end of the day. So ideally, I would like to keep the pick this year, and try to lose out a little bit and give our guys and just try to miss it, and just I really want that top 10 pick this year. Okay, that's all I'm trying to say. Personally, didn't care because he wasn't getting many goals. He's a workhorse that helps with a good forecheck, a great team player, and a nice guy. I don't want us to lose nice guys. Nobody wants to lose nice guys. He was laughing during his interview the whole time when he was the introductory yesterday, when they introduced him to the team with a couple of reporters off the side. He was laughing and giggling the whole stuff. But of course, you don't want to lose nice guys. Lindholm's a nice guy, though, so I'll give you that as well. We are about to get We're just having the last commercial break here, and we're about to get underway here soon. Last period here between the Flames and the Bruins here. Bruins have been held scoreless so far in this one. And I wanted to bring up because I mentioned it earlier, and I'm curious because I don't know, the Bruins are 31-8-8, I think. And I'm just curious, like, what that looks like in terms of the home losses that they've had this year. How many home losses they've had? Had they all been at home? Have none of them been at home in regulation? It could mark a big night tonight if the Flames happen to hold on here and win in Boston. Let me just check and see. So it's funny because the Bruins are 7-1-2 in their last 10. They played really good hockey recently. But about the Bruins, let's check the team stats here for a second here. Nope, that doesn't help. Nope, that doesn't help. That doesn't help either. None of this is helping. I'm just trying to find out how they've done at home, okay? That's not helping. You know what else really sucks, though, is the NHL app. Can't get any info. I've heard people bashing the NHL app right now, and it's not good. Bruins home record. Okay, here we go. And this is better. So they're 31-9-9, okay? I'm still not getting anything. Screw the NHL app. This thing sucks. I'm not going to worry about it, though. Whatever. I'll check a different time. But anyway, third period's about to get underway. It could mark a very monumental night, though, if the Flames can find a way to not only win this game, but if they hold on and win and they shut out the Bruins, too. That could be what's most surprising of all. So we'll see what happens. Heads up, though, better hope you've a few Russians in your team. His English still needs a bit of work. I heard the press conference, or not the press conference, but when they were interviewing Kuzmenko, that his English was not great. He was doing okay, though. He was doing an okay job with it. As third period underway here, 19:54 left, and shots are currently 21-15. As showing a lot of shots here of Ryan Huska on the bench, who, in my opinion, I think has done a really good job with this team this year, regardless of where their record, where they stand. We kind of knew where this team was going to be this year. I think Huska and Mark Savard, too, on the bench, they've done a really good job with this team. And I think for Mark Savard, it's a homecoming, if I'm not mistaken, to Boston, if I'm not wrong, which is pretty often. But I'll have to look. A lot of things I have to look up. I just don't feel like doing it right now. Neil's going to be a happy man. Devils currently up 3-1 over the Avalanche in that one. They're halfway through the second period. Neil who I usually do a lot of these live streams with. He's currently at the game tonight, so wishing him the best in so far in the game tonight. Game's going good so far. I mean, if we're a Flames fan here, it's probably their best game of the year, if I'm not mistaken. I mean, it more than likely is the best game of the year. They've looked fresh, they've looked inspired, they've looked energized. The first line has confidence. Kuzmenko has looked very good tonight. That whole first line has looked really good tonight. I think what I've been most impressed by is the fact that usually when the Flames score here, they get up 1-0, they have 2-0 here. There's some sort of response, right, that you're probably going to get. Here's McAvoy's going to get a chance, and he rings it right off the bar. Beat Markstrom. He had no idea where it was and goes right off the bar. And the Flames get a bit of puck luck as it goes right off the post. And the Bruins are still held scoreless here. As I was saying, for the Flames, when they usually lead by a goal or two, I'm usually waiting for the response here. And Markstrom makes another really good save here as the Bruins starting out this period very, very well here. A little bit of urgency here for Boston as we get a replay here. McAvoy was in all alone to another bit of a breakaway here. Bit too much of a pinch, and it just goes right off the bar as he completely beat Markstrom, but just goes right off the post and right out. Brutal. As Flames get lucky in that one. So if RJ hasn't updated it yet, Philadelphia currently leads their game 2-1 in that one. Do you think McKenzie, I think Andrew meant McKinnon here, will get the Hart Award this year? Yeah, it seems like it's going that way. Unless McDavid continues to go on a tear. I mean, just kind of looking up the I'm going to look up real quick the stats here for the leaders in points and all that. 85 points so far. McKinnon. Kucherov has also had a really good year. Matthews has got 40 goals, not nearly enough assists. McDavid currently fourth with 67. I mean, right now it is McKinnon carrying that team. And you can make an argument, too, for Kucherov, who might be up there in that conversation. It's funny because McKinnon and Kucherov are both tied in assists, too. So that means they both have 32 goals and 53 assists this year. That's crazy. I think in that case, it's a toss-up. I think they're dead even right now. I think it's too early to say. I think you can make a good argument for both McKinnon or Kucherov to probably win the Hart this year. I don't think McDavid will because of that slow start to the year. He's only at 67 points. I didn't see how many goals, but I'm assuming it's a lot. I think it's going to be a toss-up, right? It's going to really depend on this stretch here in the next couple of weeks going into March. We'll see how it goes. But I like, you can certainly make the argument that McKinnon could probably win the Hart this year. And to update everybody as well, the next game will be on Thursday. The Flames are going to be in New Jersey on Thursday night. For that one, me and Neil might be on for that one as well, too. And to give you guys a little bit more as well, we got a lot of live streams happening this week. Tomorrow night, if you want to check it out, we got the Stars visiting the Maple Leafs for that one. And then actually, we already have a live stream set for February 8th. It's going to be a good one as the Canucks are visiting Boston. We'll have another Boston live stream for you on Thursday as the Canucks will be visiting in town for that one. As a bit of scrum here, just off to the side. Markstrom makes a save. Just a little bit of a scrum here, a little face wash here and there. As get right in there with that face wash. There you go. But yes, so the Flames, if you're curious for the Flames there, guys, their next game is going to be on Thursday in New Jersey, and we might be live for that one. We'll let you know. Brandon checking in. Brandon, what's going on? Brandon, I'm curious, too, if you have any sort of trade proposal ideas. We've been talking about it all game. We've been living in fantasy land a little bit. Who you think's going to get traded out of their team, who you think people are going to acquire, what these proposals might look like. If you have any, I'd love to know. Who will be doing Canucks at Bruins on THPN? That's a great question. It's going to be, if you guys don't remember, it's Grant Hakeem, who's done a lot of live streams in the past. I think he'll be with somebody else. I'm not sure. But you'll find out on the day that they'll be live for that. They're going to be live for that one regardless. I think he's doing it alone. He might be with somebody else. We'll let you guys know though on our socials for that one. But reminder, Canucks Bruins on Thursday will be live for that one. We are going to be live tomorrow night as well too. The Dallas Stars are visiting the Leafs in Toronto, and we'll be live for that game too as well. I believe Grant's doing both of those games. And we also might be live at the same time as this Canucks Bruins game on Thursday, as the Flames do travel to New Jersey to battle the Devils. So, yeah, that's the schedule so far. We got a lot of great games coming up this week, and we hope you guys can check us out and enjoy the watch along. And also come playoff time as well too. We're going to be doing a lot of live watch alongs in playoff time as well. So be sure to check that out as well. But yeah, for those of you guys checking in, again, if you have any proposals, any ideas about what you might think might happen at the deadline, let me know. Well, I was just going to mention that the Bruins were on the power play because they are. They are about 1 minute and 9 seconds left on that power play. Now it's going to be a 5-on-3 as Marchand went down for high sticking, and it's going to be a 5-on-3. Just to update people, it was Braden Paschal who went off for hooking, and it looks like it's going to be Mackenzie Weegar who's going to go off for a high stick. So there you go. Oh, that does not look right. Let me fix that for you. There you go. Yeah, Marchand currently down, and it is going to be Mackenzie Weegar going off for 1 minute and 9 seconds of 5-on-3 hockey. This is a make or break here for the Flames. With about 16 minutes to go here, we'll see if the Bruins have a chance to find themselves back into this game. Don't watch hockey, watch MLB and Astros fan. Congratulations on Jose Altuve. I heard he got an extension today for the Astros, so there you go. Good stuff. What else we got here? Oh my God, a lot of comments. I'm missing half of it, so I apologize. Totally admit I prefer you and Neil, seriously. Or Dylan. Yeah, Mr. White Rock, Dylan Kaiser, absolutely. I can see if he would do Thursday. He hasn't done a live watch along in months, and you're right. I might have to drag him on to do one because not like I've been carrying a lot of Flames live watch alongs recently, but we'll see if we can get him on for Thursday. I'll let you know. For me and Neil, we actually might be doing the Flames and Devils on Thursday. We'll also include some of our guys from other Flames podcasts as well on that one. Just couldn't have it tonight, unfortunately, but it is what it is. So, okay, so it's a two-man advantage here with about 1 minute and 9 seconds left here in the first penalty. So the Bruins have 1 minute and 9 seconds for their power play before it goes to another minute with 5-on-4. It's a double minor for Mackenzie Weegar. A double minor. So as soon as this power play is over for Boston, it's going to be 3 minutes of power play again for the second time in a row tonight, at least. And the Bruins are going to have 3 minutes on a power play after this two-man advantage, as it's currently a 5-on-3 with 1 minute and 9 seconds to go. I apologize, Andrew, if I missed it here. I'll come back to that afterwards. I just want to see what happens here. We got some 5-on-3 here. Let's just see if we can get to the end of this before I move on back to some of the comments, guys. Lot of pressure here, easily setting up here. It's going to be, I missed it to the side. 52 seconds left here. Lots of time here left in the third. Lots of chances here for the Bruins. They have McAvoy out there. It looks like Pavel Zacha, Pastrnak out there too. And I think if you're the Flames, you're just trying to get it to that one-man advantage. You just got to get there at least, and he scores. It's Pavel Zacha with the one-timer feed from David Pastrnak, and the Bruins are back in this game. It's 2-1 with 15:46 to go. I mean, 5-on-3, best team in the league right now. You think they're going to find the net, and they do. And it's Pavel Zacha who finally puts one home, and it is now a 2-1 game. Hell yeah, I'll try to pick one up before too long. There you go. Good stuff. Love to hear it. Good to have you back, Captain Duck. Love to see it. I will tell Dylan to get involved. Andrew, I did a disservice to you earlier. I apologize. I did miss the comment. Did you hear? I did hear my TV in my bedroom is broken. Okay. I'm watching The Den right now, but in my parents' bedroom. I love that. In Naples, Florida for 2.5 months. Beautiful. Love that. I've had TV problems of my own. I won't get into it, but I've had problems of my own. But yeah, so there you go. So now all of a sudden you got 3 minutes and 22 seconds left on the power play here. Bruins now all of a sudden find new life. They've got a lot of confidence now here, as lots of time here to make something happen for the Bruins as they're going to try and tie this one up here with 15:30 to go here. The Flames have played well all night, though, tonight in terms of on the penalty kill, 5-on-4. They have played really well. They've been very aggressive, and they've been blocking a lot of good shots. So we'll see what happens here. They get it down the ice again, though, 2:57. So still lots of time here. For those of you keeping track, that was Pavel Zacha's 11th of the year. That was Pasternak's 40th assist and Charlie Coyle's 25th assist on that one there. Again, Bruins score on the 5-on-3. They now make it a 2-1 game. If you guys are looking for the feed too, and a really good game that we have here tonight, you guys can check out NHL 66. If you check it out on Google, you can get live games. I've just learned that this year. So still over 2 minutes to go here. Bruins are setting up well here. A lot of good passing around, getting a good shot tipped. And I think that one, I thought that one out of play, but it didn't hit the glass and right back as the Bruins get set up again here. Lots of time left here on this power play. They're really putting these guys out here for a while as Markstrom trying to cover up. He can't. And it's Backlund who can't get it out. Flames trying to get it out now, and they do. With now under 2 minutes to go here, a really important kill here for this Flames team. Marchand's going to find a man in front, trying to find tipped in front, and he can't find a way to put it away. I missed the players' names like half the time. And they blew the whistle because I think they missed it. It went up into the mesh, it looks like. And it did. 1:45 here. They blew the whistle because it did go up into the mesh. Really good chance there at the side of the net. Markstrom just really, in my opinion, he's had his best game of the season so far. It's tough when you're on a 5-on-3, though. So DeBrusk had a good chance. It did go off the skate of Anderson, and it just went wide of the net. He tried to feed it across the net, and it just wouldn't go through here. 1:45 here to go. And again, if you're a Flames fan, you are really hoping they can get one tonight, because then all of a sudden you'd be back by 3 points for a wild card spot. But also, too, on the flip side for the Bruins, they want to maintain the number one spot in the Eastern Conference. I think they're about 4 or 5 points up on Florida Panthers, and they want to continue to build that momentum, especially after the All-Star break. No, it was a penalty. It's a too many men penalty for the Bruins. That's a killer. Too many men penalty for the Bruins, and now it's 4-on-4 with 1:45. So evidently, the Flames kill the power play, and that's going to kill a big chance there for the Bruins as they take a too many men penalty, and it is now all of a sudden 4-on-4 in a 2-1 hockey game. So to only give up a goal on a 5-on-3 and a double minor, and for that to happen, really good job for the Flames, and that's probably a really good result to have. And it's Jonathan Huberdeau, and he scores! Jonathan Huberdeau! Great shot, top right corner, and the Flames get back on top of their 2-goal lead. It's 3-1. Jonathan Huberdeau out of nowhere fires it. I didn't know he could shoot the puck, but apparently he can. And it's Jonathan Huberdeau. Just like that, 4-on-4, the Bruins regrettably going too many men to kill their power play. 4-on-4, Huberdeau snipes it. Top right corner. It was a beautiful shot. I don't know if it was tipped. It didn't look like it was. And it's Jonathan Huberdeau and a big goal for the Flames. And they go up 3-1. Well, that was exciting. Let's get back to some of this here for a second. You're not drinking a beer tonight or water. I am actually drinking Gatorade Zero. I found a really good deal today that I got 24 of them. I like it because there's no sugar. Okay. And I don't drink them often. I'll just like the odd time, I'll probably do that. I actually like the fact that it's no sugar. I'm a big fan of it. So, and I just sometimes I actually heard from my friend that it's actually better for you than juice, because sometimes I crave juice a little bit too. And I don't know how you guys feel as well, but sometimes I just need a little bit of a pick me up, and that's my alternative. And it is not G2. It's just Gatorade Zero. So I thought it had no calories, which seems silly, but no sugar in that one. Highly recommend. I got the key lime one. So there you go. Bit of a plug to Gatorade. While Neil literally shouts when a goal is scored, you try to be as quiet as possible. Listen, I got people in this household, okay? I'm not trying to be a disturbance. I'm trying to be nice, all right? Neil, on the other hand, doesn't, because I understand why. because he's got, and I might tell him this when we do another live next time. But it's funny because I can hear his parents in the background. I got parents that wake up early, and I try not to be loud. Okay, and sometimes when we visit them, it's just like I just try not to be very loud and vocal. Now, if I had the house to myself, it's a different story. For a long time, like for a little bit, I still lived in an apartment and, had my own place and all that, yada, yada, yada. Circumstances took place, blah, blah, blah. And I still felt like I couldn't be loud because it's like you have to respect other people too. Even going forward, like, I think it's different if you have your own house, right? Then it's like, okay, well, then you can be as loud as possible whenever you want. But I try my best. But it still worked. It's okay. Yeah. But anyway, little plug to Gatorade. So there you go. Does zero sugar Gatorade taste different than normal? Absolutely, it does. I'm not a huge key lime guy. I like the orange or the blue one. So this is the green one. I mean, yeah, it's pretty much green at that point. It does, but it doesn't taste that, like, you can still be like, oh yeah, that still tastes like Gatorade. It does taste a little different, clearly, because there's no sugar in it. But yeah, I recommend. It's just different, right? And like, for when I play hockey, and I might even do this on Friday nights when I play hockey, like I might do that instead as an alternative. I still drink water on the bench, but I just find it better just because it's like when you look at the amount of sugar that's in Gatorade, even Powerade too, and even some of those like high energy, like those sports drinks, the sugar on them is ridiculous. And like the older you get, the more you're kind of like, man, I really don't want to have that much sugar in my system, right? It's good to have it once in a while if you have like a pop or whatever. Like that's totally different, right? But for me, like when I play hockey or I do other things, like I kind of like doing it without any sugar, right? Like when I play golf, I'm Gatorade Zero all day long. I love it. Different strokes for different folks, though. I know you from here. That's right. There you go. Yeah, this is my. I've been here for about a year and a half now, and we got some exciting things coming down the line, guys. I hope everybody knows that. Probably around the summertime, once the season's kind of over, we do have some pretty exciting announcements to come in the coming months. Just stay tuned for it because we're taking over. Back to the game here, though. It was still 4-on-4 for a little bit after the Jonathan Huberdeau goal, and I'll bring up, because I missed who assisted it. I don't think it was anybody, actually. Nazem Kadri, who I guess, just got a stick on it, had the assist here on the Jonathan Huberdeau goal. It is 3-1 Calgary in this one. I have to look up what the Bruins' record is on home soil, because I think it matters here in this one. As my dad texts me about watching the game, because I'm watching it right now. He's currently out skiing out in the mountains. And also a little plug too that I have to give in case I don't do another live watch along before then. In 2 days, my dad will be turning 60 years old. So little plug to my father there, 60 years old, and he's out skiing on the mountains right now. So hopefully he has a fantastic birthday. So happy birthday. I wanted to bring up their friggin' home record though, because I want to know, it obviously is not high right now. But right now, oh, sorry, I totally missed it here. Let me see here. This is like, I can't find, if like, even if I go on NHL.com, it's like, it doesn't tell you, well, I mean, it probably does a better job in telling you, and I'm just being stupid and I can't find it. Just go to NHL.com. I've heard really bad things about the app. I'm not the only one. I've heard really bad things that it's like it's not updating properly, like just things haven't been kept in order there. I've heard really awful things about it. So you got 11 minutes to go here. Shots are 23-20. Flames now lead 3-1. And Really, the game changed here in the third period with that too many men call. Goes to 4-on-4. Huberdeau snipes the top right corner. And all of a sudden, we got a 3-1 game here. Flames continuing their pressure here on Boston as Swayman makes another good save. And to be honest, Swayman's actually had a decent night tonight. I think the defense has kind of let him down a little bit, but I think Swayman's had a good night as more pushing and shoving now coming as the Bruins are getting frustrated, it seems like here. Also, a little plug. I love the Bruins jerseys, by the way. I love the stripes that they have on them. I think it really ties in well. So, little plug on that one there. Mangiapane, Backlund here. You got DeBrusk. You got, of course, Marchand being involved here. Just a bit of a mix-up here. And, yeah, it's over. It's fine. They'll forgive each other eventually. Maybe not. I just wanted to look up, though, just to give everybody an idea. So, the Bruins are currently 16-4-3 at home this year. If the Bruins do not pull off a comeback tonight, this will be their 5th loss at home this year, which is crazy to think about. To give you guys more context, 16-4-3 at home, 15-5-6 on the road. So there you go. Somebody new coming in. Kaylee coming in. Thank you for coming in, by the way. Appreciate it. Always good to have some new subscribers. Question here. Any thoughts on Braden Paschal's first game with the Flames? Yeah, I mean, he's fit in really well. They've shown a couple of highlights so far. He's been blocking some good shots. I think he's been tying up guys on the boards really well. I was very happy that we claimed him off waivers. I think we claimed him off of Vegas, if I'm not mistaken. A lot of people liked his game, trying to deserve a chance to, try and be a part of a, the top 6 unit. And he's going to get a lot of chances, especially with guys like Tanev and potentially Noah Hanifin going out the door. So it looks like a 2-on-1 here for Backlund here. Backlund's going to get a chance here with Kuzmenko, who just can't get the shot off here with 10 minutes to go. And the Flames continuing their pressure here in Boston. It's going to be Huberdeau again with a chance, and they can't find it home. But great question, Kaylee. Thank you. I really appreciate it. If you guys have any more questions, more than happy to answer it. Jordan checking in. Love the logo. Let's go. We got 10 minutes to go here. Potentially a big upset here if the Flames can hang on here as well. Also, Ricky Bobby. I love it. Bruins fan here. I think it's cool that you plug your father. But guys, thanks, Ricky. Appreciate it. And I had to plug the Bruins a little bit earlier. I love the jerseys. I love the stripes on the jerseys. I think it ties in very well. And a penalty coming to Charlie Coyle for slashing. So the Flames go back on the power play again. I don't think the Bruins have played bad tonight. I just think they just couldn't get going. And I noticed that more or less in the first period, that they just didn't find their legging in the first period. They didn't have a lot of good chances off in the offensive zone. They couldn't get set up. It just seems like they're having a bit of an all-star break kind of hangover a little bit. It just seems like they can't find their footing here. And I think the Flames just coming into this game were very excited about their addition of Andrei Kuzmenko and the additions like having Pelletier back and Braden Paschal, as Kaylee mentioned earlier. They were in a very excited group going into this game. So, yeah, we'll see what do, man. It's crazy what's happening with that whole situation there. It's crazy. We got 4 TVs in that house. Damn. We got 2 here, and it's a goal. I completely missed it. It's Noah Hanifin. Is it Hanifin? It is Noah Hanifin. He finds it home. It's now all of a sudden 4-1 Calgary. I completely missed that. You guys are making me miss it. That's okay, though. All of a sudden, it's 4-1 Calgary here. Just kind of seeing it on the replay here. Hanifin just goes right in here. Oh, and that's a bad goal to give up for Jeremy Swayman. Hanifin just used his legs, used his speed, and said, okay, I'm going in here. And he just batted it backhanded at the side, goes 5-hole on Swayman. And if you're Jeremy Swayman, he really, really wants that one back here. That's not good. As Calgary all of a sudden goes up 4-1. That's on the power play too. Hanifin just goes right in and pots it home. Flames now lead 4-1 in this one. What a night for the Flames, man. I mean, if this is anything for confidence, like this is a huge night if you're a Flames fan. It's been fantastic. As Jordan and Kaylee, I guess I'm assuming you guys are fans too as well. Great to have you in as well. Love to see it. If you guys want to check out as well too, we will be going live Thursday night, Devils and Flames. That's the next Flames game we'll have for you guys. We'll also, again, mentioning it earlier, we do have another live stream tomorrow night as well. We got the Stars taking on the Leafs in that one. And we'll also have the Canucks in Boston on Thursday as the 2 best teams, it looks like, in the NHL. I think stats-wise, are going to be facing off in that one. But I think we'll be going live for Flames and Devils on Thursday as well. And of course, I'll be back for that one too. So, but I appreciate you guys hanging out tonight. I know it's not always easy when it's just myself and we don't have a lot of guests on to talk to. I really appreciate it a lot, and I appreciate the comments that we've had tonight. So it's been good. Speaking of what's been good, I mean, RJ has been phenomenal too as well, giving us some updates around the league here. So the Canadiens extend their lead to now 4-1 here in the third period. Mentioned it earlier, the Flyers are still currently up 2-1 on the Florida Panthers. There's about 5 minutes left in that game there. The Penguins are just taking it to the Winnipeg Jets right now, 3-0 with 11 minutes in that one. Dallas currently up 2-1 there against Buffalo. And with Elias Lindholm scoring 2 goals tonight, the Canucks currently up 3-2 with 3 minutes to go in the third period. So been a good addition so far for Elias Lindholm and the Vancouver Canucks. There you go. That's just shocking from Boston. That might be their worst result at home this season. It's a bad result. I don't want to say they played bad tonight. I think they had a really good third period, and they had chances to easily get back in this game, but one bad penalty, go 4-on-4, and all of a sudden one goal just kind of takes it away from that. So they did get off to a slow start, though. I have to just say that they were very slow, and Calgary was very excited and confident about their additions tonight, and they're taking it to the Bruins. So there you go. Avalanche and Devils currently 3-1 Devils at the end of 2 in that one there. Thank you, Jared. Appreciate it. It's great, but it's like, damn it, moves us further away from a top 10 pick that we need to protect. But we'll see what happens. So, but yeah, good game. We'll see each other again. I think in 2 weeks, the Bruins will be on a Western Road swing. They'll be taking on the Flames. And for Bruins fans, for you guys to know, they'll be back in action on Thursday as the Canucks are coming into town. And then I imagine on that Western Road swing, when they do play Calgary in 2 weeks, that they will also play Vancouver in that time frame as well. So there you go. Just found the channel sub. Love it. Thank you, Jordan. Appreciate it. I'll be back on Thursday again. I appreciate it. We got a little bit of time left here, 10 minutes. I was mentioning it earlier too. We were having a lot of fun with the intermission. We've had a lot of great comments about it, even from some Flames fans who've joined us tonight. Do you have any trade proposals that you guys are kind of thinking of as we're approaching the deadline? Anything that you can think of? We had a lot. We had like Zegras earlier. We had Gensel. We had Letang. We had Dumba from the Coyotes, who was mentioned earlier. If there's anybody else that you guys can think of, any sort of package that you can think of too, I'd be more than happy to take a look at it and we can talk about it and see what you guys think on that one. But thank you for subbing, Jordan. Appreciate it. And of course, we'll do more Flames games this year, as the next one will be on Thursday. So hopefully you guys can check that one out. And if you guys would like to as well, you can check us out on, I always say Twitter, but it's not. I'll always say it on X, whatever. If you guys do want to check us out on Twitter, we're pretty active on it. If you want to know, I'm the guy who does the social media on X. That's just what it is. But if you guys want to check us out, it's at hockeypodnet. Maybe. Oh man, did I mess that up? You'll find it. Maybe not. Let me try it again. let me put it in. This is what. Maybe don't go check it out because I'm not the best at typing it out. There we go. Just in case, it's at hockeypodnet on X, guys. On Twitter, if you guys want to go check us out, and we'll give you guys updates too on who will be going live for these next couple of live streams that we have in the next couple of days. We're in the dog days of hockey as from like February till the start of June. So get in on it. I'm apologizing too because I'm the guy who does social media and I'm not perfect. So we'll let you guys know what's happening. Tomorrow night, just an FYI, guys, we are going live for the Stars and the Maple Leafs on that one tomorrow. I was just going to mention to Andrew, that Neil, I'm going to try and get him to do, I don't know if he'll be at the game in New Jersey on Thursday, but I'm going to try and see if he wants to go live Thursday night. Regardless, we'll have more Flames guys on for that game on Thursday. But we'll also have the Canucks and the Bruins for you guys as well. So make sure to check that out. We got about 8 minutes left here. Again, another power play came the Flames' way here. I just want to quickly see what that was. It was Charlie McAvoy going off for roughing, it looks like. And if you guys are keeping track of fantasy points here, Noah Hannafin with the goal, Huberdeau and Markstrom had the assist. So good for Jacob Markstrom getting the assist on that one there. 7 minutes and 40 seconds left here, and yeah, it's not a good way to start the second half. Well, after the All-Star break, little stretch here now from February till whenever you guys are done in the playoffs for the Bruins. Man, it's not a good start. I mean, I defended Swayman before that Noah Hannafin goal, but I imagine he probably wants that one back. It was a bit of a weak wrister, backhanded wrister that just went 5-hole, and I'm assuming Swayman probably wants that one back. And maybe for Bruins fans, they can answer me this question. Like, I haven't kept track of what they've done a lot this year, but who do you have more trust going into the playoffs? I imagine that Linus Ullmark is probably going to be the guy to start game one at least. I know I think they started Swayman for, I think it was game 6 or 5 and 6 last year when they played Florida. And I imagine that might be the case this year too, where they'll kind of just, go back and forth with these guys maybe in the playoffs. But you guys can answer below. I would imagine that Ullmark might get the start for game one. That's just me. I don't know. I don't follow a lot of Bruins hockey, but yeah, after tonight, I mean, just kind of looking at their lineup a little bit further, like Pavel Zacha gets the goal. Outside of Brad Marchand, David Pastrnak, you do have James Van Riemsdyk. That's great, but it feels like the Bruins might want to go after somebody in the top 6, maybe on the right-hand side, or even somebody to do well on the power play, right? Like currently you had Zacha out there for your top power play unit. That might be something you want to address. That's just me, but what do I know? Did I like any of the activities at the All-Star break this year? I didn't watch a dime's worth of the All-Star game this year. Did not care for it. So I'm sorry. Yeah, I mean, look, it's for the kids at the end of the day, right? Like that's just who it's for. I'm not going downtown Toronto for any of that stuff. I told you guys earlier, the traffic sucks down there, and I'm not going to be finding myself down there anytime soon. The next time they do an All-Star game there or whatever festivities go on down there. But it's for the kids, right? It's for the young kids at the end of the day. And, it's just gives them a chance to kind of be like, to see these players up live and close. And, for guys like me and, for a lot of adults and that, it's sometimes not their cup of tea, right? But at the end of the day, it is for the kids at the end of the day. So, yeah. And I mean, there was a bit of football too that happened. There's the Pro Bowl. If you guys I'm curious to see you guys think who's going to win the Super Bowl on Sunday. I got Mahomes. I think that they'll find a way on Sunday. They've been doubted all year. I don't have a horse in that race. I just want a good game at this point. That's all I care about, but we'll see what happens. 5 minutes and 18 seconds left here in this one. Shots are still 28-21 now for the Flames as they didn't get anything on that power play that McAvoy went off for roughing, I believe it was. Nothing came of that one, but yeah, all of a sudden this power play has come to life for this Flames team. That's 2 power play goals tonight in a year where I think the power play has been bottom 3 or bottom 4 of the league. And for them to kind of, give themselves a little bit of jolt, get 2 goals on the power play there. And it's great to see and gives them confidence now going forward. So this Devils team, be very afraid on Thursday for this Flames team if they start kind of going off. And for you guys to note as well, later it is the Oilers and the Golden Knights. Oilers are going to be looking to tie the record for the total wins record in Vegas. And if they do that tonight, they'll be in Anaheim for a chance to break the record on Thursday, I believe. So, or I think it's Friday. I might be wrong with that one. Andrew saying, are you a fan of UFC? I am not a huge fan of UFC. Let's see. How honest do I want to be with this answer? I don't enjoy it personally. I have various I don't know. I'm not crazy about it, to be honest. I think I get why it's gotten popular to what it is, and I understand how successful it's gotten, and it's to the point of how it all. I'm not crazy about it. I can't sit here and say I'm crazy about it. That's all I'll say, really. I'm not really that invested into it, but I know some people are, so let them like what they like. Let's see, 3 minutes left here in this one. And overall, it's been a great night, guys. Unfortunately, I couldn't have my guys from Flaming Talk come on tonight. Been unfortunate. but they had to do other things. So I thought I could kind of man the ship tonight. And you guys certainly helped with that as well. So I want to Braden Paschal mentioned him earlier. All of a sudden, getting a little bit of a scrap here with Jacob Lacko here. No idea if I'm pronouncing that name right, but a little bit of a scrap there. Yeah, but I appreciate you guys coming on. I know it's a little bit of an outreach now here with 3 minutes to go here, but the Flames are going to get a big win tonight. Speaking of the Flames getting a big win, the Canucks also get a big win as well. Boston's going to trip up tonight. Carolina's going to trip up tonight. And it looks like Colorado's tripping up tonight as well, too, as some of the big heavy teams are unsuccessful tonight, except for Vancouver. But good for them. And good for Lindholm getting 2 goals tonight and getting himself settled in with Vancouver very quickly. Again, Vancouver in Boston on Thursday. Calgary will be in New Jersey on Thursday as well. We will be live for those 2 games, so make sure to check that out. And I'm sure RJ will mention it. Actually, he did mention it, that it was a final 3-2 for the Canucks, so good for them. And the Flyers also were winners here, as Andrew was about to mention below. Flyers were winners 2-1 there in that one. So we are coming to the end of the stream here, guys. We got about 3 minutes left here in the game. They're just taking one last commercial break and done. Again, just want to thank you guys for coming on and chatting with me. It was a fun night. It was great. We had a lot of good conversations, and I act like I'm, talking to other people, which I am, just not like here. You know what I mean? I'm getting tired anyway, too, but that's okay. I appreciate you guys coming on, though. It means a lot. And so if you want more updates, we will have another game tomorrow night. Again, like I mentioned, Stars versus the Maple Leafs tomorrow. And we'll be back in action again with 2 games on Thursday. So got a lot of games coming up going forward. And we're getting into the back half here of the season. And maybe I thought I mentioned this too real quick, because Andrew did actually bring this up, and I probably should have made a comment earlier about it, about Dylan Dubé. I mean, you can't really say anything right now. It was told the other day that that the teams would be, they would get whatever money they lost from these guys, they would be accommodated on the salary cap for the guys that were charged with sexual assault. Obviously, we saw back in the 2018 case. I won't get into it. You guys probably know everything that's happening with that, so I won't get into it too deep. I can't really speak much about it. I think the one thing I'll say is that I'm really disappointed when I saw a lot of the comments online about, just guys going to certain places, and, just a lot of nasty things were said. I get it. I understand. At the end of the day, though, and this is just my opinion, that you have to trust the justice system, right? These guys are innocent until proven guilty, right? And if they turn out to be guilty, then you can take that as you will and say how you feel about it. But you just have to, go through the process. That's all it is, right? You just have to go through this process, and you have to have some faith in the justice system and how they will go forward with these proceedings. So I won't get too deep into it. It's not my place to do it. It probably won't be talked about now for a little bit, because it's going to take some time as they go through a lot of these proceedings. But it's I don't want to speak too much about it, right? Like, whether their careers are done or not, I don't know. I don't want to get too deep into it until we kind of know what officially happens, right? When the trial is all said and done. I just think we kind of have to just wait and see now, right? That's all we can do. So that's all I'm going to say about it. There's not really too much to kind of get into it. And if you guys saw the press conference on Monday by the London police, they basically didn't say anything either. They can't say anything really, and it's understandable. And I think that's just kind of where we're at right now. So that's just my 2 cents on it. I don't like to thank rivals for favors, but tonight I'll break this rule once. Well, I think the Bruins will kind of be pissed going into Thursday against Vancouver, so I'm sorry, because I think they'll probably want to get back to their winning ways. That'll be a tough matchup, though. I think the Bruins will come out ready on Thursday for you guys. So, but it'll be a good game. We'll see what happens there. So we'll be live for those 2 games here. We got about a minute and a half left here in the third. Bruins will try and see what they can do here in the final minute here. A great third period by both teams. Bruins did find their way back into it. And, it came from a 5-on-3 goal that led to a 3-minute power play, which got stalled by a 4-on-4. And Jonathan Huberdeau basically shut this game down, made it 3-1. And Noah Hannafin, even put even more onto that as well. As Hannafin made it 4-1. Jeremy Swayman probably wanted that back. And that's how this game's going to end tonight, folks. It looks like minute left here in the game. They're probably just going to wrap it up here. But coming off an All-Star break in which Lindholm gets traded, a lot of excitement coming around Kuzmenko coming to this team, seeing how it was going to work, and it was an absolute success tonight for this Flames team. These guys will meet each other again in 2 weeks in Calgary for that one. But so far, it's a phenomenal win tonight. It is the best win this season for the Calgary Flames. Markstrom played unbelievable. This defense was really good tonight. They did hold their own, especially being on the power play shorthanded for a lot of the time tonight. They did really well and really held their own against the best team in the NHL. So give a lot of credit to this Flames team. The Bruins are going to bounce back, especially on Thursday when we go live for Canucks Bruins. And they may want to rethink and retool going forward. It's not a great start after the All-Star break for the Bruins. But yeah, if you're a Flames fan, got a lot of confidence going forward. I'm talking about biggest rivals. Listen, I want you guys to beat Edmonton if you get that chance. That's all I'll say on that one here. 10 seconds to go here, guys, in this one. And don't do the icing, please. Okay, they won't. Thank God. They're just going to hold it down the fort here, 3 seconds. And that is it. The Flames come into Boston with a massive, massive win tonight. And they'll be celebrating this one big as the Flames win it 4-1. Ryan Huska pumped on the bench. Kuzmenko getting some love. And a great night for the Flames. And that's a really good sign for this team going forward, man. It puts them back into the playoff hunt. All of a sudden, 3 points back to the playoff spot. And it might be a sign of good things to come. So there you go. There you have it, guys. 4-1. Flames win it. And again, this week, just to let you guys know, tomorrow at 7 o'clock, it'll be Stars in Toronto. On Thursday, again, we have 2 games going on, Flames and Devils, Canucks and Bruins on Thursday for that one. So that's going to do it for me tonight, guys. I thank you all for coming on and watching and commenting. Had a really good night with this. And again, we'll be live tomorrow again for another game, for a live watch along. And again, appreciate you guys coming on and joining me. And it was great to have you. And I'll probably see you all on Thursday. And we hope to catch you all on the next live watch along. Maybe with the Flames. Probably. I gotta go to bed. This is ridiculous. Okay. I'll tap out. Thanks, guys. And we'll see you on the next live watch along. So peace.
Say something.